Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio and a fine libations Friday to you and yours. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're on ESPNTallahassee.com is where you can stream the show. Loosey-goosey edition of the program as we're wont to do on a Friday. If you missed anything, go back, get caught up. All 3 hours posted every day upon the conclusion of the program. That's all done with a limited commercial interruption thanks to our wonderful podcast sponsor, CarltonDean.com. Go to SVN, Carlton Dean, to figure out ways to make money in commercial real estate, even off-market deals. Go to CarltonDean.com. Email the show if you like. It's JCS at 979ESPNRadio.com. On Twitter, it's at JCameronShow. Man, thank you, Hugh Freeze, you dumbass. Thank you, Ole Miss. That's a gift on July the 21st, I can tell you that. Woo. So let's unpeel this onion here. Let's go through layer by layer and figure out what we're doing, right? So the focus initially is, of course, the fact that Mr. Freeze, Coach Freeze, man of God, called escorts, then got caught because the numbers were left within the phone records that he had an opportunity to redact before the school and the lawyers and everybody else continued to analyze them.
Not just screwing, Mitch.
That's just rather mind-numbing that he couldn't have figured out that, ooh, not that one. Let's go ahead and redact that one there, Johnny. You know what I'm saying? How does that not happen? Oh, boy. So we got to go back a ways. I'll maintain that I don't think my man here was fired because he called escort services. I'm going to start with that. That's where I'll differ with a lot of the ongoing conversation.
That's all the headlines, is that This is the reason.
No, I don't think
it's
so.
about doing the right thing. And clearly, since Hugh didn't do the right thing.
At Ole Miss, it's about doing the right thing, right?
You had to. You had to do the right thing for him.
Sure.
Let him go.
I think they went all in on the let's cheat and become relevant so we can make more money thing, which a lot of schools over the years have done when they're not competitive and they don't get to partake in the spoils that come with successful football campaigns and boosters who invest in as much. And so this isn't the first time a program that was largely irrelevant on the rather sizable landscape of college football that sees some 20 to 30 teams in a given decade remain pretty consistent in their ability to compete either for conference titles or big-time postseason bowls, and certainly these days, modern days, you'd be looking at trying to get into a playoff. And all the money that comes with it and all of the ability then that, from that money to build greater facilities and to sustain longevity within that realm. Schools will do this. People behind the scenes at Baylor wanted something more. They went all in and along the way ignored transgressions that can only be described as abhorrent. Ole Miss, I'm not saying did something similar, but I do think we all raised an eyebrow. Everybody did right off the bat. Hugh Freeze gets there and almost immediately begins to have success in the world of recruiting at a place where previously that just didn't happen. And seemingly the overnight turnaround and kids deciding that I'd like to go play at Ole Miss. I want to be a Rebel. Well, that was enough for everybody else who pays attention to this vast landscape I just described to go, well. And it led to interesting conversations because those conversations are usually for people who are in programs and fan bases that are self-aware. They're rooted in the realization that to some degree, albeit varying, their program is also guilty of any number of NCAA violations. And we usually, and I think aptly, describe that as, the analogy of we're driving down the highway, I'm going 70, you're going 80. I got you. Rock on, brother. I hope they don't get you. You whiz past me at 125, I'm getting the plate and calling the cops because you're endangering lives, including my own. For this analogy, my job is in play when you whiz past at 125 and start taking players from my own backyard.
In a pink Cadillac, no less.
Yes.
You want to be caught. You're asking to be caught. You should take it back. Take it back. But you don't. You keep driving it around town, and you are flipping everybody off as you're doing so.
And your wife's in the passenger seat in a fur coat. So we can't have all that. And it usually ends poorly. And it has now for Hugh Freeze. I think, and I could never prove this, could it just be that the upstanding folk at Ole Miss don't want in their midst a man who fornicates with women that aren't his wife? Or could it be that, look, they went 5-7 last year. They just weren't very good. 2-6 in the West. If you're going to invest in winning, big-time winning, and you're going to give certain allowances during that run, that is to say, you're going to choose to look the other way as your coach, who's now been tasked with getting Ole Miss into a place where they can compete with the likes of Alabama, whom they beat twice while Hugh Freeze was there, that certain corners have to be cut. Kings are killed, Mr. Garrison. These things happen, and I will make sure that the rest of my constituents understand that we are to look the other way as certain things are done, maybe not on the up and up.
Yeah, it's not just about the losing when you're expecting championships, though. It's you're losing while bringing the NCAA and its LED lighting. You know, it's got a spotlight on you.
7-6, 8-5, 9-4, 10-3, 5-7. Overall record of 39-25, sub 500 in your own damn conference and at 19-21. If you're winning championships, see Rick Pitino. Maybe those phone calls to escort services don't get played.
Not just screwing, Mitch.
Maybe it never comes out. Maybe if you win championships or compete to damn near win championships rather consistently, lots of things are just made to go away, and the public never finds out about it. And the effort to make sure those things just go away becomes the mission statement for those in the athletic department and those that made the undertaking well known amongst boosters and alumni whose donorship you're asking for, right? This was not made to go away. This was vetted. This was flushed. This was brought to the light, efforted to be brought to the light. I mean, you had to scour those phone records, Tom. I understand that there was a lawsuit involved in all of this that might also could have been avoided had Hugh Freeze not allowed hubris to get in the way. Maybe if he had just said to Houston Nutt, I'm sorry I slandered your name, not your good name, but your name. I'm sorry that I besmirched you. This would have gone away, and he would not have had to look his wife in the face and say, I'm sorry, I like to screw hookers. Maybe this all could have been made to just be all right.
You have that as officially on the record, what he said?
No, but I translated.
Not just screwing, Mitch.
But because he lost or didn't win enough is a better way of describing it, and because he's pious, because he's insincere, because he's self-righteous, because he slandered another man and then refused to apologize when he was caught, and because, moreover, he just didn't win enough, they exposed him. And, you know, I do think it's interesting that they waited till now because they dug their heels in. Andy Stables pointed out in his article today. Many others have written on this story, of course. And if you kind of read all of those stories and you compile what you can get from the press that covers this team on a daily basis, and then you know what you know just through observance over the last several years that he's been here, and we know for those that follow recruiting, it's always been a jaundiced eye that's cast upon the Ole Miss program. Coaches within the SEC, coaches in the South in general, when his name is brought up, say, oh, Hugh, huh? They've had to bite their tongue. They've wanted to speak out about what they thought was, without question, an over-the-top effort to become an elite program within a mighty conference.
Yeah, but if you believe the whispers and the whispers that heard whispers and then in turn whisper to you, this was a matter of time, and those coaches knew that.
Well, what was a matter of time was that he would get caught cheating. He would get caught with recruiting violations. He did. He already did. But the problem he had was that once that happened, he then said, oh, no, nothing wrong here, and he did so in order to save a recruiting class. And that's when he decided to sweep all of those allegations under the rug. And then if he had left them there, maybe that would be okay. But instead, he emptied that rug on Houston Nutt's face. And then told everybody that I'm not the problem. That guy, that goofball over there is the reason you should be so angry. If I were just free to talk football and coach football, we'd all be fine here at Ole Miss. Us Rebels would be okay.
Oxford would be free had it not been for Houston.
That's correct, Tom. But Houston's transgressions, repeated lies and manipulations have led to our current problems. Get Houston Nutt.
Your problem is not Hugh, but rather Houston.
So, once he did that, I don't know what he thought was going to happen. Did he think that Houston Nutt would go, okay, I'll wear that. That's cool. Yeah, by all means, slander me on a daily basis. Make me look like a pariah. Sure, I'll just step to the broadcast booth every week with egg on my face while people snicker behind my back what a scumbag I am. Which, he might be.
What was that, Houston? I'm sorry, I'm on the phone. I got Tampa on the line.
So as it turned out, a guy goes down that deserved to go down, that we knew would go down. But the reason given is what's most intriguing. It's not that the notice of allegations revealed that they were after him for his violations, his program's violations under him, or any of those things, but rather he forgot to redact, when given the opportunity, a phone call to an escort service. And, of course, our hometown, our home area, Shady Tampa, comes back to grab another one.
You think we've been lying to you?
All these years we've warned you. Hey, it's hard for a good man to make it in Shady Tampa, let alone Hugh freaking Freeze.
Let alone a used car salesman, college football head coach.
Don't roll Tiger Woods through Tampa. God forbid. I mean, again, it's hard enough for guys who are attempting to be on the up and up to do the right thing on a daily basis and be immersed in Tampa.
Why do you think I don't play in the pods?
Then you roll Hugh Freeze in there. My goodness. Shady Tampa will get you every time. But I do know, and Tom and I are really happy about this, every now and then our connection to the four-letter network, to the mothership, to the 800-pound gorilla, to ESPN Bristol, allows for us to obtain audio and video and copy and behind-the-scenes information that a lot of people wouldn't get. And we utilized our connection today.
We did indeed. For example, another thing, another piece of information that has nothing to do with Mr. Freeze, Jimbo's going to be doing the car wash next Tuesday. There you go. Mike and Mike, 8:30 in the morning. They asked me to promo that.
That's right. They sent it down.
They
down
said,
the pike. They said, hey, who better to promote this than ESPN Tallahassee and the Jeff Cameron Show?
Since you guys never talk Jets football,
nope.
Could you do us a solid and at least promote this?
Refuse to do it. Won't talk Jets football. Utterly useless. Got no chance. Could be the worst team in football. We won't talk Jets, but we'll talk Jimbo rolling through the car wash. We'll do that. Hey, but you know what? Why don't you throw us a bone? Where's that audio? Where's that phone call made to Hugh Freeze from our friend Rick Pitino? You got that for me?
New message. 3:52 a.m.
Hugh, it's your friend. I just heard the news. I am so sorry. I didn't know you were one of us. I didn't know, Hugh. Everybody knows you call me. You certainly don't call Tampa. That's not for people like us, Hugh. You know who this is, by the way. Let's just say I can't divulge my name, but my favorite automobile is a Porsche 911. Okay? Hang on one second. No. That's Billy Minotti. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Obviously, I can't give you my listed number. So please, give me a call, 502-555-6969. We'll go out. I know a nice Italian place. We'll talk about this. This is not the end. Trust me. This is not the end. I await your call.
End of message.
Well, and you know what? The outpouring of affection from others that have been quote-unquote victims in scandal, it continued. Dave Bliss. We haven't heard from Dave Bliss in years since the problems at Baylor, in which he discussed a murdered student-athlete as being a drug dealer to cover up having paid for his tuition. But Dave Bliss reemerged and made a call himself.
New message. 11:17 p.m.
You, Dave Bliss. I don't have much time here, but you know I've been married 38 years. You think you get married for 38 years if you can't cover? It's always the drugs. Call me back. Claudia, why can't I turn this damn thing?
End of message.
Which was nice of Dave, I thought, to still be so assertive in protecting of, his friend in that situation.
He
right?
is urgent in everything he says.
Urgency, yes. They are pressed for time when you're covering up murderers or casting aspersions upon those who have been murdered. It's tough. You got to act now. You got to do so. Well, and also Bobby Petrino, who's no stranger to controversy, and also at Louisville, decided to reach out to our friend here. Here's that phone call.
New message. 12:25 p.m.
Hey, buddy. It's Bobby P. I was joking with my lady, my wife. I take on runoff projects from the SEC all the time, so I thought, why not call you? Well, anyway, if you want to come see the sights in my town, you can hop on the back of my motorcycle. Probably be a good time. Stay strong, and may God bless you and your family.
End of message.
That's a nice touch at the end, especially for Hugh, right? He probably wanted to hear the may God bless you. He likes to tweet Bible verses. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford. The place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Your air conditioner checked out and change your air filters. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how much energy and money you can save. Going away from home on vacation? Why not purchase a programmable thermostat to regulate your air conditioner while you're not at home? Talk about an investment that'll pay energy savings dividends. Make an appointment right away for a free energy audit from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. You never know how much energy you can save until you do it. The City of Tallahassee is offering insulation grants. Why not apply for one? Did you know that the City of Tallahassee offers loans to help with the purchase of solar water heaters? Visit talgov.com/YOU for information on loans and rebates. So stay cool, go green, and save energy all summer long. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, America's #1 public utility.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Once again, all of you with stellar credit ratings, congratulations. And this message is not for you. All year I've been talking about our New For You program to assist good people with dings in their credit. And just last week, a friend of mine came into my office worried about his own credit rating. But thanks to our New For You program, you guessed it, he drove away in a brand new Nissan Altima. We are proud of the fact that we have helped hundreds of people that were previously limited shopping little used car lots where they overpaid, got huge finance charges, and had very few choices on cars to purchase. Some of those lots may actually hurt your credit more than they could ever help. So remember, credit score under 600? Come on in. Recent bankruptcy? Come on in. Recently divorced? Come on in. Think you have a financial problem we've never heard of? Come on in to Kraft Nissan. And come see the one dealer in Tallahassee that can really help you out. Come see the cars that everyone wants at the hottest dealer in town, Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco, or visit us on the web at craftnissan.com.
When you need spent a little too much time in the sun relief.
Yikes.
Oh, what the? Attack of the Angry Mosquito relief.
Hey, watch this.
Scraped knees.
And an elbow.
Relief. You need Gold Bond Pain and Itch Relief Cream with lidocaine. Gold Bond has the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription and starts working on contact to numb away pain and itch. Gold Bond with lidocaine. Relief starts now. Use as directed.
When you don't have a big marketing budget, you have to wait until the opportunity is just right. Well, consider this your opportunity alarm going off. Vistaprint's semi-annual sale has arrived with up to 50% off site-wide, including custom t-shirts, postcards, and even our new A-frame signs. And if you've been waiting for our newest business card options like Square Cards, now's the time to get huge savings on them too. Make the most of this opportunity. Go to Vistaprint.com by July 25th and enter the promo code SAVEBIG.
How's your car's air conditioner working? Could be better? Take it to Auto Super Service Center today for a comprehensive air conditioner service. It's just $49.99. Yep, just $49.99. Since 1980, Tallahassee's trusted name for auto repairs, service, and low prices has been Auto Super Service Center. There are 5 Tallahassee area Auto Super Service Center locations. Find the one nearest you at autosuperservicecenter.com and call for an appointment. $49.99 air conditioner service special is a limited time offer, so call today.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Let's get an update both on Florida State players and others leading the way at the British Open. Royal Birkdale has turned inclement as that's wont to happen at the British Open. Weather consisting of rain and wind and shifting winds at various points today have seen nobody capable of going low. Great round today, and I mean great round today is par. What do we got, Thomas?
Okay, so as they're about to hit 8:30 out there at Birkdale, it is 5 hours ahead. Jordan Spieth leads the tournament. He shot a 1-under 69 today in those conditions.
Hell of a round.
Yes, because he played the latter part of the day. So that's when the conditions got worse. The rain was falling, and you had the squalls and the wind and all that kind of stuff. Brooks Koepka, who was tied for the lead entering the day, shoots a 2-over 72. He looks to be, unless somebody comes up and surges up the leaderboard late, he will be in the penultimate group tomorrow for the Saturday pairings.
Yeah, he's right there within 3 strokes of the lead.
Within 3 shots of the lead. Matt Kuchar, who was also tied atop the leaderboard, shoots a 1-over 71 today.
Good round for Kuch.
So he's 2 shots back.
Old man Poulter played well today, too.
Yes, Ian Poulter also stands at 3 under par for the championship. He shot an even par 70 today. Daniel Berger did not fare as well. He shot a 76. That's a 6-over 76. It puts him at +4 for the championship because he was 2 under heading into.
He'll be around for the weekend. Who of significance has been told to have a good day? What is the cut line, good sir?
Last I saw, the cut line was 5 over. I think Jason Day, again, missed the cut. He looked to be having some difficulties on the back 9.
On the regular.
On the regular, he is. I will confirm that, of course. Looks like Justin Rose barely made the cut. Charles Schwartzel barely made the cut.
Well, Justin Rose carded a 9 today. Making a cut with a 9 will do some things.
Well, and Schwartzel today actually touched the lead at 5 under par, and then all of a sudden he's playing for his life on the cut line. So there were a lot of really, really volatile scores. Another quick note, Harry Ellis did not make the cut today. He shot a 75 in the second round.
He's still just out of college, just in college. I mean, he wasn't expected to make the cut, but
if he wants some bragging rights, he can say, obviously, that he shot a better round than Berger in round 2. Phil Mickelson did not make the cut this week, so no driver. It didn't matter. That didn't help him at all. He was flirting with 10 under last.
Probably should have put the driver in his bag.
Yeah.
Like we always say, you got to hit driver there.
I'll find other notables who didn't make the cut for you in a moment. Patrick Reed is one of them. But honestly, most of the big players likely made the cut just barely, and they won't be of any significance over the weekend, but they will at least be getting rounds 3 and 4. And Dustin Johnson, for example, I think finished it 3 over for his first 2 rounds. So
All
he
right,
makes
so
the
he's-
cut
yeah,
by a
he's a-
couple. But, I mean, he's going to have to shoot something crazy over the weekend.
Something really low. All right, real quick, let's get back to this. The story of the night last night on Into Today is that Dave Freeze is done. Hugh Freeze, not Dave Freeze. I don't know of a Dave Freeze. Perhaps a Dave Freeze is listening to this program. Hugh Freeze is without a job, and Ole Miss, weeks before the start of football, is left scrambling.
Though I had it kind of right. Jason Day, I do owe an apology. He did make the cut. He doubled 18.
And
when
you
he doubled
assumed this
18, I
much,
thought,
yeah.
well, you're screwed. No, but the cut line did fall back to 5, so he was at 5.
All right, at least made the cut.
Enough golf.
Enough golf for now. So Freeze is out, and again, for all the different layers that we touched on in the opener there and the fun we have with this, I do find it amazing that the opportunity for what they said they fired him for. Okay, excuse me. He resigned. They were going to fire him, and he handed in his resignation. Had he not done so, they confirmed they were going to fire him. So it's not in question, basically. He was fired. But what I was looking at, I mean, they're citing that they let him go because there was a pattern, in essence, of calling hookers. And I find that really probably disingenuous. I'm sure that's the thing they could use, that they could seize upon. But again, if he had issued an apology, this all could have been avoided, but he refused to do so, even doubled down. Ole Miss, as a university, well, they bucked up and defended their head coach. I wonder what changed. Is it just that, in addition to the fact that he calls escort services and did not inform the university of it, lied perhaps repeatedly about his involvement in the NCAA violations, obviously these calls, it all added up to, hey, in addition, my man went 5-7 last year, fellas. What are we doing? Might we garner some leniency if we tell the NCAA that, all right, peace, this guy's gone? 2-6 in conference?
I think that leans towards pissed off boosters, but
I do too.
The one thing, maybe it's because he was going to fail in this recruiting class too. I mean, he brought in a good one last time around, but as I saw on ESPN.com and through their ranking system, they only had one top 300 ESPN player, only one 4-star player in this recruiting class, and so this is damning it to be a disaster, but maybe they wanted to just get out from under him because they thought they were starting to head down a path with a cheater. That why even bother?
Well, once you decide to cheat, once you're all in on that program, you got to win, man. I remember years ago, I was doing the morning show when I first started in Tallahassee, and I think it was San Diego State got popped. And they were over the top in their efforts to cheat, and they got caught with some pretty big-time stuff. And I remember thinking, San Diego State? What are you doing, man? If you're going to cheat, you got to win. And you have to be in a position to be able to win. I mean, win big. What are you doing at San Diego State? And I really, we used to joke on the show, there was the mantra, drugs, money, hose. The whole thing was that, if you're going to go all in and really dance with the devil, sell your soul for victory, give kids drugs, money, hose, houses, cars, and everything else, you better win a national championship. You better be all in. You better be, if you're able to, and it doesn't make it right. It doesn't mean that I'm, okay, well, if you can do this and win, then all's forgiven. No, it doesn't make it right. But if you're going to get popped and you're going to put yourself in danger and you're going to put your program in danger and you're going to be now really an also-ran program for years to come again, you better leave that little era of going for it, quote unquote, with a title. So to me, it seems he was doomed. You're right. If you're not recruiting well and you're brought in solely to do just that, and almost immediately you do, through means we all know we're not on the up and up, you've been popped for that, and it's on the heels of a 5-7, 2-6, the hell up out of here, man.
I think part of it, too, is, okay, the NCAA is already looking at the university, and it has looked closely, and it issued whatever back in February, its notice of allegations.
That's right.
But they have to know behind the scenes. I'm just guessing this is one of those extra reasons. He's not going to stop, and he can't succeed doing things any other way, at least within the framework of Oxford and the program he's built. So why not just cut our losses right now? Because if the NCAA is going to keep an eye on us after serving up a notice of allegations in February, why do we need to give them any more ammunition to the point where we're going to cripple our program for 5 to 10 years. Let's just cut our losses for a year or two and then hope we can find our guy to repair this thing. But I really think that they had to agree to themselves behind closed doors that they need about a 2 to 3 year repairing period before they can go for it again, and they just wanted to cut Hugh Freeze's ties right now to start that process.
Who wants that job, man? Because here you go. You're thinking about this big picture-wise. All right, there's a good chance that Kevin Sumlin's not at Texas A&M after this season, after he fails yet again, and typically does. There is a good chance Butch Jones is no longer head coach at Tennessee, which, look, they have money, they have facilities, they have history. Somebody could get them righted, and people would want that job. It's a good job. So where does Ole Miss fall in that category? If there are 2 to 3 to 4 open jobs in the SEC after this year, who's taking the Ole Miss job? I mean, and I don't mean just in general. I mean, you have to take into account that whatever's coming down the pike from the NCAA is going to affect your ability to win games, and that's going to reflect poorly on you. People tend to forget when you're handcuffed by scholarship reduction or whatever it might be.
Your agent and even yourself, you need to use Al Golden's situation as a cautionary tale. I've got to ask tough questions. And, yes, you're right. If A&M is open or if Tennessee's open,
right,
why do I even want to entertain the option where I have to ask these types of questions of the administrators, the athletic department and the athletic director, the president? You know what? Let me just entertain these other offers. If I'm of that caliber, that any SEC team would be calling me, yeah, screw that. It took cheating to get them there in the first place.
Well, here's the weird thing. Ole Miss has, sparingly, admittedly, it's kind of a spotted past. They've had these seasons where they've been able to kind of hang their hat and get excited about the possibilities of playing big-time college football again at Ole Miss. But it is not something that has been sustainable. And if you've got to out-recruit Alabama in the West, you got to out-recruit LSU, and you got to out-recruit Auburn, and then just in the SEC in general, you got to out-recruit Tennessee and Florida and Georgia, and then you got to out-recruit Florida State. And you got to it's a hard place to consistently win.
Hell, Dan Mullen's in your state,
Yeah.
That should be a cakewalk over Mississippi State, but it's not.
No. So it's a tough job. Now, it's one that pays handsomely. I mean, they're one of the schools that will pay millions of dollars for you to come in and coach. But, I wonder, a lot of names are out there today. This is always a fun game to play. When a job opens up, you rank what that job is, and you try to be realistic. And the only people that get angry about that are the people whose job it is that you're discussing or whose university it is that you're discussing. That would be true of us. That'd be true of anybody. When you're in it, it's hard to really, really, truly be objective. Most people think their school is the best school in the country, and even when it's not even close. Or even when it's really, really good, they think it's a couple spots higher than really, really good. But, I mean, is that a place? So there's like 10 names, 12 names you throw around. I've had an idea of a couple, but would David Cutcliffe go back? He's at Duke. He's a good coach.
He's got a good quarterback right now.
But he's a quarterback guru. A lot of people believe in him, and so that reputation, and he could go back to Ole Miss, and he could be a guy that maybe – I don't know, maybe you wouldn't have to – I don't think you'd have to worry about him cheating. You wouldn't have to worry if you're trying to rebuild your reputation and you're trying to bring in a guy who would be, to some extent, loyal, would be an Ole Miss Rebel, would care about the program he once coached at, would want to – you could probably – you would figure he can lure a quarterback.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate real quick here and just say that maybe it's time to get in on the SEC West. LSU is in a state where you don't believe in that head coach. And, when they were going really well with Les Miles, they were recruiting like crazy. But do you think that they're going to be continuing at that standard? So maybe it's time to make inroads and little pipelines for when, they continue to languish. How long can Nick Saban possibly coach in my division? Is it possible that sometime in the next 5 years, if I take a large undertaking with the understanding of the athletic department and the Ole Miss community, it's going to take a couple of years to rebuild this thing the right way, turn it around, that maybe when we come out on the other end, Saban's not at Alabama. Maybe it's not the machine that it is right now. A&M right now is also languishing. There were moments 3 years ago when people thought, why would you ever want a job in the SEC West unless you're going to coach at Alabama or LSU? But maybe now is the opportune time, if you're not in the SEC, to go join the SEC.
Whew, at a place like Ole Miss, man.
Well, we just had the discussion last week about the ACC. The ACC meetings and how the coaching quality in the ACC is higher than that of the SEC. Maybe now the time is right to get into the SEC.
Yeah, it's just a matter of you're not calling Chip Kelly. You know, you're going to have, because he's not taking that job. So you're going to have to call, you got to be honest with yourself, and you're going to have to reach out to some second-tier guys that have had success either as a coordinator somewhere or at a small school currently. And I think that's got to be tough. But, you know, you could reach out at this point. There have been a couple different names that we were talking about earlier. The coach at Air Force, whose name I now forgot, is a guy, because a lot of times, and we discussed this before, but a lot of times you go hardcore disciplinarian after player's coach, or you go, you know, the guy in the pros, you see that all the time, right? If a guy's a player's coach, you end up getting a disciplinarian and vice versa.
Saw it at Florida. That's why they brought Muschamp in.
Right.
They wanted to win, but they said you got to clean up the program. That was one of his mandates in the post-Urban Meyer era.
Well, and to some extent, I guess he did, but he didn't win enough, right? So that's a tough act. It's a balancing act. Chad Morris is a guy, right? He's at SMU now, and we remember Chad Morris, the OC. I mean, Chad Morris could be a guy you reach out and call because you might have an entertaining brand of football, even if it doesn't consistently win the way you want. But that's what I'm saying. Those are the pool of guys you're starting to look at.
But you probably have to have a conversation, something along the lines, if you're in the booster community, the big money booster community, like the 5 people who count community. You know, should we hire somebody now to get us through the cloud when we lose scholarships? Or if something like that is coming down the pike and they get whispers, should we just get somebody who's a stopgap who can keep us from crashing into the mountain and then go make our hire in 3 years?
Well, then you keep the guy they just promoted and say, good luck, buddy. Enjoy 3-9. We've got your back for the next 2 years until a real coach comes along. I mean,
that's a real discussion, though, at some point.
Oh, it's a tough one. Can you imagine? Think about how excited we are right now about football. I mean, here we sit on July the 21st and how pumped up we are. The practice is about to begin. Soon games start 6 weeks from now. We're immersed in it. We're all back in our happy place with college football. And this gets slapped on you. Last night, you're sitting down for dinner. What? We have a press conference coming up. What's going on here? Especially when, if you're a realist, if you're pragmatic at all, and you've kind of wondered to yourself, even if not out loud, it is amazing how he came in here and somehow turned around our recruiting from marginal at best to top 5. How does one win kids over so quickly?
You know who hates life right now, too? Phil Steele. He's like, good God. Not only does Bob Stoops retire out of nowhere, now all of a sudden we got Hugh Freeze calling up hookers? Great. Well, those 2 pages of my book are now worthless.
Redacted, my man. All you had to do, redact the call. He was asked about it. He did not redact a 1-minute call to a number in the 313 area code. And that was the number to an escort service in Tampa, Florida. Asked about the call. Freeze dismissed it, quote, I've got no idea, to be honest. He went on to say, I was in an 813 area code, and that was a 313 number. I think that might have been a misdial, actually. I don't think there was even a conversation. There's just nothing to it. Do you think the moment he was asked that question, the moment he was asked the question about the 313 number, that moment wasn't just paralyzing, that, okay, let's keep a straight face, look right through him. What are we going to say here? Come on, brain, give me something.
Do I say it's an underprivileged recruit's mom? Or do I say that I hit 3 instead of 8 for the area code? I've got to choose now. I'm going to go with the 3-8 play. Say I hit 3 by mistake.
He basically could have gone anywhere with it, but went with I think it was a misdial, which you could say butt dial, you could say I accidentally hit a number, you could say anything, right? I can't get over this. Okay, so they're looking to get you. They're going to look a little closer at those numbers because lawyers are scanning this as you absolutely have ruined the credibility of Houston Nutt and refused to apologize, and Houston Nutt's aggressive lawyer ain't having it, and he's looking to get you any way possible, and you know this, and you're given the sheet with all the numbers that the university has pulled from your records, from your phone, that you've called over the last however long that was, and you don't find a way to redact that number? Man, get the hell out of here. If nothing else, you deserve to be gone. For that.
You deserve it, absolutely.
That's insane. You had a chance with, I would presume, your lawyers and other people at Ole Miss to go through the numbers. Now, not that you would remember necessarily the number of an escort service.
Maybe he didn't, and maybe that's the more dangerous thing.
But here's the other problem. Well, they said it was a pattern, so I'm sure it wasn't just that call.
Okay.
But here...
Well, I just mean, life gets a little loose, and then all of a sudden he makes a call he doesn't remember making.
Oh, so you think he's got a drug and alcohol problem too? Possibly. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, sure. It's all stress relief, Tom. Sure. I mean, the only thing I'll tell you, though, is, again, if you don't know a number, wouldn't you at least check in before you handed it back over and said, we're good here? I don't know that number. I don't know what that number is. It could be nothing. It could have been an appliance store. I needed a new fridge last month. I don't know. But let's double check that one.
Okay, Hugh, you know what? We can just redact that.
Yeah, just redact it.
When
when in doubt.
Yeah. And then he goes, no.
Leave it in there. Leave it in there. It's nothing. It's a little 1 minute.
They'll throw him off the trail.
It's a little 1 minute jobber. Sure. 1 minute jobber, huh?
$20.
Come on, Hugh. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Creek Ford. The Home Depot has a new idea. Free carpet installation that means free carpet installation. Clearing out furniture? Free. Ripping out old carpet? No charge. Hauling it away? On the house. No hidden fees, just free installation on carpet $699 or more. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid on carpet priced $1 or more per square foot. Unique specialty items and requirements may be priced separately. Not valid in all markets. See HomeDepot.com for details. Offer ends August 16th.
This is Shaquille O'Neal.
And the Shaquettes.
Reminding you that anytime is a good time.
Good time.
For the cooling, drying, fresh scent of Gold Bond powder spray. Like after the gym.
Or a crowded elevator ride.
Or golf.
Or working with farm animals.
Or a hard day's work.
Like sportscasting?
You said it, ladies. Stay cool with Gold Bond powder spray.
Stay cool with Gold Bond.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, 'cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, I'm Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. Some roofers are like a bad boyfriend. They make lots of promises, but in reality, they're just cheap. They don't own up to their mistakes, and they leave you with a lot of regret. Parker Brothers Roofing stands behind every installation, and if a mistake is made, we own it and fix it. Our customers never have to worry about being left behind for the next job. At Parker Brothers, it's quality that builds our quantity. Call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
All right. could Louis Anderson, the comedian?
Louis Anderson.
Yeah, I like good old fat Louis.
He was awesome. He is awesome. Is
yeah,
he
he's
alive?
not dead. Louis is
Okay.
fine.
No,
He's
John
actually in
Candy.
a show. Yeah, John Candy's been dead for years.
Man, John Candy was great.
He was great. I think of Louis Anderson as a guy that could never win a fight against anything or anybody. Super sweet, jolly guy, but doesn't look like he has any kind of. He has no squabbles.
I bet he could beat John Panette in a fight.
Could he beat a boar? A wild boar?
A wild boar?
Yeah, not a tame one. Could he beat a boar?
No.
It would. That'd be a quick fight.
That would be, well.
Boars, I think they eat you, too, afterwards.
Oh, they'll eat you.
They eat you.
Everything.
That's the best thing about a boar.
That's why you can never trust people that have pigs, man.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Brent, this month's topic is classic song lyrics. You ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Here's a lyric. American history, practical math. You study them hard and hoping to pass.
It's from School Days by the great Chuck Berry. He wrote and recorded so many great hits.
You mean like TNT Supercenter sells and services so many top golf cart brands with an enormous selection all under one roof?
TNT Supercenter customers can compare the top golf cart brands side by side. Club Car, Yamaha, Star EV, and the ultimate hunting vehicle to beat. TNT Supercenter has the largest selection of carts in the area. Pre-owned carts starting at just $19.99. New carts with a 4-year warranty starting at just $49.99. And at TNT, our service center and service technicians are trained, certified, and authorized for every brand we sell.
And there's plenty of parts and accessories too, right?
Our parts inventory is huge, and we'll dress up your existing cart with a full line of Mad Jack's premium accessory products like seat kits, light kits, lift kits, and now for a limited time, save 20% on all Mad Jack's parts and accessories.
TNT Supercenter, US 19 South, next to Dairy Queen in Thomasville, and online at TNTSupercenter.com.
If you haven't stopped into Tallahassee's favorite hangout, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill on North Monroe Street, you're missing out.
Hey, it's me, Courtney. Hey, it's me, Marissa.
Last but not least, I'm Kim, and we're the girls from the Fourth Quarter.
Okay, girls, there are lots of great nights to stop in at the Fourth Quarter, including Monday, where it's happy hour all day, including 2-for-1 Wells. There's Tuesday night trivia with Professor Jimmy, where you can win money. What other night should we stop by the Fourth Quarter?
It's Kim again. Join me Saturday and Sunday mornings for Bubbles and Brunch from 7 to 2. $18.99, all you can drink mimosas and Bloody Marys, and it includes breakfast.
Hey, Riss here. Come join me for lunch. We have over 20 lunch specials for just $7.50, and that includes a drink.
I'm Courtney. Visit me on Monday nights when we have 2-for-1 Wells, calls, and domestic drafts all night.
Don't miss out on the girls of the Fourth Quarter. Pick your favorite night and stop in. Say hi to the girls at 2033 North Monroe Street, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill, Tallahassee's favorite hangout.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Take you down the line.
You can get ready to play Limo. I suppose. We'll see. It's an awful long ways away, but I'll cross my fingers. You could also simultaneously fire up What Them Kids Doing, brother, because they're doing something that we all enjoy, which is committing to Florida State University.
Hello once again, friends. It's time for What Them Kids Doing.
Look at that jibber jabber Jeff. What's that kid bench? How fast does he run?
Hey, who let you in here?
Look at him. I bet he can bench a lot. What them kids doing, Jeff?
5-star cornerback Akeem Dent has committed to Florida State University. He is the #1 rated recruit in the country. All right, he's the #1 rated cornerback in the country. That for the 2019 class. So, again, it's noteworthy, but that's that's a long ways off.
Yeah, I like him.
Florida State, for now, gets the commitment, a hard commitment from the number one cornerback in the country, Akeem Dent. He was considering Florida State. He was considering LSU. He was considering Miami. Well, as much as you can consider that also ran program. But obviously, anytime you beat out LSU, Clemson, Florida, Georgia, Michigan, Ole Miss probably fell in hard times. They were on the list. Their ability to pay has come into question. You know what I'm saying? Tennessee, West Virginia, which, come on now, who are we kidding? And Miami. So that was the list, and Florida State gets the commit, and that is, good news. 6 feet, 180, class of 2019, freak, and a kid that obviously, would continue the tradition right now. And I don't doubt their ability to hold a recruit for long periods of time. They've done it before. A lot of recruits stand out in that regard. I believe Derwin James was committed for a very long time. So let's hope he's the kind of kid that does what some of the kids who recruit this early do, which is become a big-time advocate for your school.
He's just now getting his full driver's license, but you know what? He's a freak, and he likes us. So this is good.
It's really good. And, again, the camp always engenders sort of positive momentum. You get a lot of the stars here. You get a lot of the best players in the country to come in, and you have that at receiver, and you have that at linebacker right now. Florida State trying to make inroads there at that position as well. We talked about the offensive line earlier in the week. So that's exciting times, man. And whenever we're going to do what them kids doing, if I'm going to be able to turn around and reveal that perhaps we just signed basically, or got a commit anyhow, not signed, but got a commit from the number one cornerback in the country, I don't care if it's for 18 or 19. That's celebration worthy, baby.
So what level of recruit does it have to be minimum for Lemon to be involved?
Well, that one certainly.
Right. I mean, number one.
Yeah. If you're 15th in, say, a guard, Lemon's not coming around. I mean, he may drive by very faintly in the distance. Is that Lemon? Did I hear? He just kind of waves at you on his way to get ice cream.
You're not really sure if he looked at you or
You're
not.
not sure, yeah.
But you think he did?
Was he?
And you certainly waved back.
Yeah, you waved. I looked like an ass just 2 days ago, waving frantically to a person I thought for sure was you. I was driving down Appalachian Parkway. Explain later.
Wait a minute. You're telling that this is real?
No, it's absolutely real.
So I pulled that example out of thin air, and you actually waved at somebody you thought was me.
Yes. They were in a beautiful white Nissan, just like yours from Kraft Nissan.
Fully loaded.
Fully loaded. Gorgeous. Drives smooth. I could see it from the distance. It was shimmering in the light, and I thought, what a beautiful automobile.
Check out the selection today at craftnissan.com.
Well, when I looked at the car, I thought, I'm glad I drive a Nissan from Kraft Nissan. And then I said, that's Tom. As I came over the hill, I said, I wonder what Tom's doing out right now. I'm going to wave at him. And I did. And then you weren't waving back. And I thought, that blind bastard's lost in his own world. Tom! Tom! And I waved away. And then I approached my light, and what I thought was you approached your light, and I went, well, that's a 75-year-old woman. She's just staring at me as I kind of had my hand still up in the air.
My name is Tom, though.
Oddly
enough.
I was like, oh, that's not Tom at all.
Was that last week you said?
My apologies. A couple days ago, actually.
Oh, a couple days? Okay.
Yeah.
So I was in the country, so it could have been me.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been waving frantically knowing you were in Halifax, sir. I knew that. No, but
he was lying.
He's been here all week.
He's just hanging out.
And why would he lie about going to Halifax? It's not Paris. I mean, it's nice, but come on.
It is nice.
Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford. The place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Come on in. Recently divorced? Come on in. Think you have a financial problem we've never heard of? Come on in to Kraft Nissan and come see the one dealer in Tallahassee that can really help you out. Come see the cars that everyone wants at the hottest dealer in town, Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco, or visit us on the web at craftnissan.com.
The Furniture Bank of Tallahassee, a division of ECHO, is the only local program that collects and distributes gently used furniture free of charge to Leon County residents in need. Our free furniture bank donates to eligible clients such as families recovering from fire or disaster, formerly homeless clients moving into their own homes, and veterans in a rehousing program. In 2016, we helped 138 families, including 33 vets, rebuild their lives. For more information or to have your furniture picked up, call 224-ECHO. Call 224-ECHO.
If you haven't stopped into Tallahassee's favorite hangout, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill on North Monroe Street, you're missing out.
Hey, it's me, Courtney. Hey, it's me, Marissa.
Last but not least, I'm Kim, and we're the girls from the Fourth Quarter.
Okay, girls, there are lots of great nights to stop in at the Fourth Quarter, including Monday, where it's happy hour all day, including 2-for-1 Wells. There's Tuesday night trivia with Professor Jimmy, where you can win money. What other night should we stop by the Fourth Quarter?
It's Kim again. Join me Saturday and Sunday mornings for Bubbles and Brunch from 7 to 2. $18.99, all you can drink mimosas and Bloody Marys, and it includes breakfast.
Hey, Riss here. Come join me for lunch. We have over 20 lunch specials for just $7.50, and that includes a drink.
I'm Courtney. Visit me on Monday nights when we have 2-for-1 Wells, calls, and domestic drafts all night.
Don't miss out on the girls of the Fourth Quarter. Pick your favorite night and stop in. Say hi to the girls at 2033 North Monroe Street, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill, Tallahassee's favorite hangout.
Hey, Wally Woodham here. In 1974, I set the national high school passing record at Leon High with 3,560 yards.
Jimmy Jordan here. Wally, I broke your passing record at Leon the very next year.
Well, Jimmy, in our 3 years together at FSU, I threw for 22 touchdown passes.
Wally, that's pretty good, but I had 39.
Well, Jimmy, look at the deal I got at AAA Transmission.
That's a pretty good deal, Wally. At least your car's a winner.
Don't put off your auto repairs. Stop in at AAA Transmission and ask for owner Tim Pridgeon, servicing Tallahassee for over 30 years. AAA Transmission, 1023 North Monroe Street, or call them at 222-2532.
Hold everything for less. The Pack Store Save event is going on now at the Home Depot, and the shelves are full of smart moving solutions, like moving boxes from as little as 77 cents, bubble wrap, moving blankets, packing tape, all in one place. Moving is stressful enough. Getting what you need in one trip shouldn't be. Make your first move to the Pack Store Save event going on now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only.
When you don't have a big marketing budget, you have to wait until the opportunity is just right. Well, consider this your opportunity alarm going off. Vistaprint's semi-annual sale has arrived with up to 50% off site-wide, including custom t-shirts, postcards, and even our new A-frame signs. And if you've been waiting for our newest business card options like Square Cards, now's the time to get huge savings on them too. Make the most of this opportunity. Go to Vistaprint.com by July 25th and enter the promo code SAVEBIG.
Broadcasting live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
This is Adrian Lawrence, and jump into the gridiron. Adam Pac-Man Jones has been suspended for the Bengals season opener against the Ravens. Jones violated the NFL's personal conduct policy in connection with a fight with a hotel employee in Cincinnati earlier this year. He pled guilty to obstruction of business. Cowboys wideout Des Bryant says he isn't worried about Ezekiel Elliott and believes the running back will learn to avoid off-field drama as he matures. On Sunday, Elliott was implicated in a Dallas bar fight that didn't lead to any arrest. On the Diamond Cup third baseman, Chris Bryant is out of the starting lineup after he sprained his left pinky finger. Javier Baez is stepping in at third. And Indians ace Corey Kluber was scratched from today's start due to neck issues, but he hopes to start Sunday in Game 3.
Time to upgrade your wardrobe with CT Shirts, the most exquisitely crafted British-styled crease-free shirts I've ever worn. One CT shirt normally costs $100. I got you 3 shirts for just $99. Go to ctshirts.com/ESPN. ctshirts.com/ESPN.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
ESPN Radio. Happy Libations Friday, loosey-goosey edition of the program. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online at ESPNTallahassee.com. If you miss anything, go back, catch up. Show's good. And when you miss it, you have an opportunity to go back and find it in the archived audio on our own website or on iTunes or on YouTube for that matter. It's all brought to you with limited commercial interruption, thankfully. Because we have a great podcast sponsor, CarltonDean.com. Learn more about income-producing properties, CarltonDean.com. What?
Yeah, the YouTube feed actually has a DVR. You can go back right now if you want to see the most previous segment.
Most recent segment? Or
Sure.
a previous segment?
Same thing.
Yeah, probably worded not as well.
Well, no, I'm just testing, people. These are cliche statements that people make. Most previous is right, too.
Yeah, but you wouldn't say most previous. You wouldn't.
I do.
No, you don't.
I say it all the time.
You don't like saying most previous.
I say most previous.
If you said most previous, I'd go, Tom, get the hell out of there with that nonsense. Most recent.
I also say level par rather than even par. I say level par.
Could just say par.
Level par.
Par is just understood to be par.
No, Jeff, I made a 4 on that hole. That was level par.
How did you shoot? Par. Oh, okay.
Level par.
British Open update momentarily. No, Brooks Koepka doesn't lead, but he will. Currently, I think we've decided we just don't like Jordan Spieth. He can go to hell.
Yeah, Jordan hit a 3-wood on number 15 today, I think it was. And if it wasn't, it was number 17. Either way, it's a par 5. He's trying to get there in 2. And he basically cold tops the ball. This is something I do when I hit a 3-wood. That's the club I really can't hit.
know.
And he hits it to 20 feet away for an eagle putt.
Hossled it. Ran it up there.
So some said
thin to win.
Some said off the bottom of the club. Some said off the heel. Some said off the hosel. Either way, it wasn't good, and it rolled about 120 yards after it first landed on the ground and rolled to 20 feet. He made the eagle putt. So such was the day for Jordan Spieth, who shoots 69, holds a 2-shot lead heading into the weekend. He's at 6 under par.
Yeah, the other part of that is that, of course, that he's really good, and he makes a lot of putts, and he is a whiner. He does do the palms to the sky, oh, I'm so unlucky routine, but he can really putt, and he's a good player.
He also chipped in today as well. So, yeah, when you're really good and you're getting lucky, that's a deadly combination.
Sure. So the weekend will be interesting, and the weather is going to play a factor the rest of the way. The big story of the day, of course, Hugh Freeze without a job now as he is fired. Okay, sorry, quote, he resigns after failing to redact his phone calls to hookers. And in the end, that's what's being cited. I had a slightly different take, and I'll continue to have one as the day rolls on, that middling while being a jerk and then also getting popped for calling escorts. kind of all adds up to have a good day. We paid for more. We'll look the other way at 10-3, 6-2 in conference and a win over Alabama. We're not looking the other way at 5-7, 2-6 a year ago in conference. It's time for you to go. If you're going to bring in the NCAA and have them breathing upon our necks and turning on the lights in places where we want it to be dark, then you better win and win big. And they're not recruiting nearly as well as they were, and they're not winning big, and he's a jerk, and he did this, and goodbye. I'm sure had all this worked out in the initial effort to make Ole Miss relevant again, had gone from 7-6 to 8-5 to 9-4 to 10-3 to 12-1 and in the playoff, the fact that he's calling escorts doesn't make any difference. The fact that he's cheating would make no difference. We've learned over the years, if you win titles, things go away. Things get ignored. Things actively get ignored.
Probably wouldn't have made the light of day ever, right?
Of course not.
They would have handled the Houston Nutt situation and said, okay.
Give Houston his money. Tell him we're sorry. Houston's not going to get the apology he wants from Hugh, but Houston gets $1 million to pipe down.
And we'll get him a letter of apology from, Hugh Freeze.
Somebody who signed
and then we'll
not
just sign
named
it.
Hugh Freeze.
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Absolutely, it's what they would have got. It is remarkable. We continue to talk about the various angles here. What does Ole Miss do now? Name a coach that would be interested in a job like that. They do pay well, but it's a second fiddle job in a very difficult conference that's about to have some better jobs that are going to be open, maybe multiple better jobs. Tennessee, Texas A&M come to mind. There's all of that, but there's also this idea that all he had to do was apologize, that this all got unearthed because Houston Nutt was besmirched by Hugh Freeze, and they continued to contact media and leak false information about the NCAA's investigation and their findings during the notice of allegations, and that most of the stuff they were looking at pertained only to Hugh Freeze, but instead Hugh told the press and anybody that would listen, this was all Houston Nutt's fault. It's really none of my wrongdoing, and he did so to continue to be able to recruit well and to hold on to a great class that he had. Now it all comes to light. But what also came to light was that Houston Nutt was hurt, right? His feelings were hurt. He was angry. It ruined his reputation, or so he thought. And he just demanded an apology. That's it. None of this comes out. So they say, if Hugh Freeze says to Houston Nutt publicly, I'm sorry, I mischaracterized the NCAA's investigation as being one-sided towards the previous coach. In truth, we've had some transgressions here under my watch as well, and we'll get to the bottom of it. And I want to publicly apologize to Houston Nutt. We're done here, man. That's it. But that egomaniac couldn't do it. Hubris. So then that happens, and Houston Nutt goes, all right, bitch. That's how we're going to roll? He sticks a lawyer, a strong-minded lawyer on it. They request records. Now phone records are available, so they're combing through all of this to find out what's what. And in the midst of it, they find some calls that can't be accounted for. What's this? Who's this? Who are you calling over here? The university, who really at this juncture is still backing him, doesn't want to know the truth. Of course they don't. They don't want to know that my man's calling escorts. So they give him an opportunity to redact the numbers, anything that's quote-unquote personal. And certainly if you're calling hookers, it's personal. You kind of want to get that one redacted, my man.
It's the same concept. This is why you always tip the limo driver. This is if you're Rick Pitino, why you always tip the maitre d'. This is why if you're, I don't know, checking into a hotel that you should never be checking into, you tip the concierge, the bellboy.
Anybody that can pin you there doing the thing you're not supposed to be doing. You shouldn't just,
the valet says, he gave me a 20. He's not supposed to be here. I never saw him.
Listen, we're not children. I get it. People make mistakes. This isn't even about that. Just the stupidity of not redacting. Obviously, you don't have to worry about if you're not the type of guy that's cheating on his wife, if you're not the type of guy calling escorts. And the 90-something% of the people listening to this show would never have to worry about something like that. But there is the percentage that would and does, and they know enough to tip, as you're saying, and they know enough to have some self-awareness, to know who they are, to play the game. My man didn't. Oh, wow, he's butchered just so far across the board. But again, to be sure, I don't think this was the sole item. I don't think this is why he was fired. Again, if he was winning, none of this comes to light. It's that he's a jerk, and he wasn't winning, and he wasn't continuing to recruit nearly as well. the NCAA coming down on Ole Miss, all of that adds up to we got to wash our hands of this guy. You've got some angry boosters, angry money people saying, you know what, enough's enough. I want this guy out of here. And so they find a number. Good night, Irene. And if it's true, and that's all that it has to be, is true, right? They don't have to care if this was, in fact, a series of calls or a problem, a perpetual problem at that. They just have to find something to hang him out to dry, walk into a room and say, hey, Hugh, we did some looking around. We know some things about some things. Those things may or may not go public. Other than the phone call itself, I'll let you explain it to your wife. We won't have to get into the details of those dalliances.
The one nuance that I'd like to know is, okay, so they're saying it's a pattern, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean, because they're certainly implying this, but does that actually mean that they had to sit him down in the past and say, Hugh, a little easy with the escorts here. You know what I mean?
My man.
Like when you're willing to
carried away, you've got quite the appetite.
Yeah, when you're putting it on the record saying, this has been a pattern, that means
they said they found disturbing patterns, right?
That implies, though, that they've had previous conversations to that end.
I would think, yeah.
I don't know that that's true, though. That's my point. They may be saying that, but I don't know that that's true.
Well, I'm going to wait for the rest of it, right? To me, again, when I first heard that, I thought, well, that's just funny, and it's funny that they used that. But I asked, I asked a friend of mine last night when we heard that story. I said, so you think this is really about escorts? So you think a pattern of calling hookers cost him his job? Come on, man.
I mean, there have been coaches in I don't know what sport. I don't even want to divulge what sport, but reputations over the years around here.
Oh
yeah.
There
have been some reputations, but that didn't get those coaches fired at any point.
Rich, powerful people. In business, in sports, in politics. This is an age-old story. Access, opportunity, ego leads people to do a lot of crazy things, and nobody is, so naive as to not think that goes on, right?
Wait, so you're implying that when session is here, that, everybody doesn't go to bed at 8 o'clock? Some people stay out late during session?
And perhaps even hang out with people that aren't their wives or husbands.
Oh, goodness.
Late into the night.
The den of iniquity, this city.
And poor decision-making. It's at hand. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Florida State getting good news on the recruiting front. I'll tell you about that momentarily.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Oh, you're right. The electrical thing, he's holding it up, right? He's on the little raft.
He's on the raft.
You're right.
Zzz, and then that's it for Brody. He dies after that.
He doesn't die.
In Jaws 3, he's dead. He
Oh, he had a heart attack or something.
Yeah,
We don't see it on screen.
They don't show it on screen, but yeah, the Jaws killed him.
That's okay. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
It's that time again, the 13th annual Sea Quarters Marina Youth Fishing Tournament, Saturday, July 22nd. This is a free tournament open to kids 16 and under. The fishing hours range from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. All kids must attend the fishing clinic with parent or guardian at the marina on Friday, July 21st at 6 p.m. At the completion of the clinic, each kid receives a rod and reel, t-shirt, hat, and trophies will be awarded for the first 3 places in each category of the tournament. You can register at Sea Quarters Marina, 501 St. James Avenue, Highway 98 Carabel, 850-697-8400.
Might I suggest the chicken taco salad from Banditos Burritos, my friend?
Progressive brings you Flowetry with Flow.
A tool called Name Your Price. Get a grip on your spending like an industrial vice. It's nice. Beats rolling the dice. I prefer brown rice. Don't carry dumbbells when you walk on thin ice. Splash.
Get insurance based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. Visit progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Oh, wow. You're actually wearing your hair down tonight.
Yeah, because I finally decided that I love my hair. I figured out the solution for my morning frizz, midday poof, and even next day bedhead. It's Frizz E Secret Weapon Touch-Up Cream by John Frieda.
Well, you and your hair look flawless.
Flawless and touchable. Feel.
Oh.
See? It's soft, smooth ends, no flyaways, shiny.
Well, I clearly need to get some because your hair looks amazing.
Frizz E Secret Weapon, only from John Frieda.
When you need spends a little too much time in the sun relief.
Yikes.
Oh, what the? Attack of the angry mosquito relief.
Hey, watch this.
Scraped knees.
And an elbow.
Relief. You need Gold Bond Pain and Itch Relief Cream with lidocaine. Gold Bond has the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription and starts working on contact to numb away pain and itch. Gold Bond with lidocaine. Relief starts now. Use as directed. When you don't have a big marketing budget, you have to wait until the opportunity is just right. Well, consider this your opportunity alarm going off. Vistaprint's semi-annual sale has arrived with up to 50% off site-wide, including custom t-shirts, postcards, and even our new A-frame signs. And if you've been waiting for our newest business card options like Square Cards, now's the time to get huge savings on them too. Make the most of this opportunity. Go to Vistaprint.com by July 25th and enter the promo code SAVEBIG.
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the three amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina, and presented by Hobbit American Grill, locally owned and operated since 1978.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Akeem Dent is a 5-star prospect at corner. He's considered the best corner in the country for the class of 2019, and he said yes to Florida State University. Woohoo!
Yeah, I like him. Huh?
All right, young man. That's what I'm talking about. So he enjoyed the camp. He enjoyed working with Charles Kelly. You know, I'm excited and interested, of course, to see how that plays out this year. That's actually, I wasn't out. Ran into somebody last night who asked about the defense, and we were going through position by position, and we were talking about the talent that's there. And, you know, Tom, I took your advice last night. I was getting ready to go to bed. I was actually crawling into bed 10-something o'clock at night. Wasn't late at all, buddy. And I tuned in to FSU Miami, the replay.
On the ESPNU channel.
396, I believe that is.
Comcast 396.
And I tuned in, and I didn't have intentions of watching the game again, and then I did.
The whole thing?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't watch the first quarter. I started tuning in. I didn't start. I watched from about the 10-minute mark of the second quarter to the end of the game.
So you weren't, angry about that first drive where Dalvin missed the cut, and then there was the wide open throw and good call on fourth down.
Well, at 13-3, when we hit Dalvin on the throw back down the sideline with the wheel route, what I get mad about all over again is how horrifically late that late hit is. The sandwich job on that. You could have easily thrown guys out of the game. I mean, it's not a step. It's several steps. And so, given that happened a lot in that game, and yesterday I caught some flack for praising Matthew Thomas for knocking the tooth from Brad Kaya's jaw.
Did you really?
Yeah, a couple people weren't happy about
People forgot about, the
the 25 late hits that Miami had in that game? Sure. Yeah. And so, you know what? It's a nasty rivalry. It happens. All right. So you're not going to throw the flag there? We got to buck up? All right. I'm going to knock your quarterback's ass repeatedly. Might accidentally shake a tooth loose. Good on you, Matthew Thomas. Well played, Unicorn. Well played.
What about the back and forth in that game did you not remember? I mean, you just listed something, but...
I was reminded that I'm going to miss Brad Kaya. I was reminded that, for as much as they wanted to project that kid as a good player, he just wasn't. He missed too many open throws, too many opportunities. He's got the game won. It's 13-3. They're on the 20-yard line. He makes the most dumbass throw you'll ever see, and game changes on that throw.
Hey, who picked that? Was that McFadden?
Yeah. It was his fourth interception of the year at the time. He's got blanket coverage, and it's a horrible throw.
Yeah, if there was a pick last year, it was likely McFadden, so yeah.
Yeah, when you have 8 of them. But it was, you're just reminded when you watch that kid play, he did a lot of things well, but when they had to make plays, when he needed to make plays, he just never did. Not against anybody who's any good. So I'm going to miss him. That's what I was reminded of. Oh, and I was reminded Dalvin Cook's really good. And that there's some guys that if they take that step forward, including those on the offensive line, some areas there where I thought, all right.
Was it less egregious than you thought?
A little less, yeah, a little less. It did get me, you know what it did? I turned it off when it was over after the blocked extra point. Actually, it reminded me how important that first down was after we got the ball back.
Correct.
How huge that was.
Jimbo called a great play.
Great play. So I kind of was laying in bed applauding the play call. That's a good call, Jimbo. Good call.
He went out and won the game.
Yeah, went out and won the damn game. And when that happened, I kind of sat up in bed. I was like, that's my man. That's my coach.
Remember that.
That's what the hell he does.
When we kill him for punting or something in the late moments. He does sometimes go call to win the game.
Go win the damn game, my man. Beautiful. Then I wanted to watch more games.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford. The place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin, Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Just how good the incentives and discounts are on America's fastest growing car company, Nissan. Seriously, please shop Kraft Nissan before you buy. No one has the incentives and low prices we have. Not Toyota, Chevy, Ford, Honda, or Hyundai. $5,800 in savings on Altima SR. Brand new automatic Frontier pickup starting at just $21,800. 0% interest for 72 months on our most popular models. Rebates up to $10,000 and no payments until football season. I'm telling you, in the over 30 years I've been in the car business, I've never seen such incentives and low prices. I've got pages and pages of special interest rates, rebates, and bonus cash. Kraft Nissan even has a factory rebate for any credit score under 625 to help you with your down payment. Here's the deal. Nissan is America's fastest growing car company, and they want to be number one, and they're buying market share. So please, before you buy, check out Kraft Nissan's exciting lineup of new vehicles. That's all I ask. Stop by Kraft Nissan and look. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Price includes dealer preparation charge.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help.
800-298-5783. 800-298-5783. 800-298-5783. 800-298-5783.
So your AC is on the fritz? Call Barano Heating and Air Conditioning for help, day or night. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, 580-4029 or BaranoAC.com. Florida license number CAC 057652.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
This is Adrian Lawrence, and jumping to the gridiron, Adam Pac-Man Jones has been suspended for the Bengals season opener against the Ravens. Jones violated the NFL's personal conduct policy in connection with a fight with a hotel employee in Cincinnati earlier this year. He pled guilty to obstruction of business. Cowboys wideout Des Bryant says he isn't worried about Ezekiel Elliott and believes the running back will learn to avoid off-field drama as he matures. On Sunday, Elliott was implicated in a Dallas bar fight that didn't lead to any arrest. On the Diamond Cup's third baseman, Chris Bryant is out of the starting lineup after he sprained his left pinky finger. Javier Baez is stepping in at third. And Indians ace Corey Kluber was scratched from today's start due to neck issues, but he hopes to start Sunday in Game 3.
Time to upgrade your wardrobe with CT Shirts, the most exquisitely crafted British-styled crease-free shirts I've ever worn. One CT shirt normally costs $100. I got you 3 shirts for just $99. Go to ctshirts.com/ESPN. ctshirts.com/ESPN.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Yeah, I don't know that we're ever going to get the intro without that, right? It's just too fun.
It just fits.
It does. I heard Maiden this morning at 6:10 a.m. as I was in the shower. I got a weird station that I've created, which is a lot of hair metal on that one station. And, well, you have a jazz station, a classical station. You do the same thing. And then you have the kind of mixed tape station or whatever that would be, within a realm. But I have a specific metal station that when I'm a little groggy in the morning, I get a sip of coffee in me. I crank that bitch as I get in there.
I'm sure Christy loves that.
Well, she's awake. She's all right. I don't do it while they're all sound asleep. That would be bad. That'd be cold-hearted. Can I play with man? Let's get up, kids. Let's go. World's out there waiting.
New shampoo. Good looking out.
My kids think it's hilarious that I wash my hair, or what I have. They're all, why do you do it, Dad? My scalp gets greasy, just like everybody else's. If you don't wash it, you got to do it. Feels good. You'd notice if I didn't. I think it's silly, Dad. What's the shampoo going on? My scalp. Do you rub it in? Yes. They find it funny when I come over with shampoo.
Hover. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I rub it all over my... I have hair. I just shave it all the way down. You still got to wash it. Got to get in there and make it happen. So there was a weird question today before we came on the air, and I thought it was... Well, it wasn't so much a weird question because we've asked this question before as it pertains to baseball in the past, but I thought it was odd timing because Hugh Freeze wouldn't be the guy, for me, that would elicit this question and or a larger conversation. And it was on, to give credit where credit's due, I think it was on Russillo's show that comes on before us, in which he said, is there anybody in sports or anything in sports that you still have faith in light of the Hugh Freeze situation? I thought that was odd. Like, who believed in Hugh Freeze? Who believed that Ole Miss was doing everything on the up and up? But to that larger question, we usually bring it up when a player is really good in any sport and they're young and they're up and coming and they kind of catch the sports world by storm and we all buy into the story. And if it's a cool story, you can't get enough of it. You're like, oh, this kid grew up poor and wherever, and you find out, you just kind of peeling away the layers. But invariably, and sooner than we used to, sadly, way sooner than we used to, we go from talking about those successes, whether it's a program, a player, coach, you name it, to immediately asking, that's a little too fairy tale for my taste. Something is not on the up and up. So like Aaron Judge is a great story this year, and maybe we refrain from asking the question because he is a giant. So a big man hitting the ball a long way is not stunning. If you're 6'7", 270, and you hit home runs, okay. What's more stunning is the contact that he makes consistently at that size, his batting average, et cetera. Although in the month of July, he's hitting under 220. It's the whole go around the league a couple times. They figure you out. They begin to figure you out, right? Yeah. But having said that, I guess that's a fair question just in general about what do you have faith in, what do you believe in professional or college sports. And I think it would have to be the much smaller sports, the Olympic sports, that if you were a big fan of, say, women's soccer, you would believe in that, right? You would believe that that's not subject to the kinds of rampant cheating and
maybe. I mean,
but I don't know.
I'm not trying to besmirch the great college program we have over here, but
no, it's great.
International recruiting has to be a game of some sort that you play, right?
Yeah, you're all trying to get great players, but I guess. I mean, usually, obviously, the direct tie is always the money.
Yeah.
And if you're a money-making sport and the university stands to make a lot of money and you then stand to make a lot of money because you're making somebody else a lot of money, which is how money usually works, then everybody right on down gets in line and cheats a lot of – no, I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of people. And so you tend to think that that's likely corrupt. I don't know how much money women's soccer makes the university. I don't think it makes the university any money.
I'm just saying, if you have 4 or 5 universities looking for somebody from Sweden who's going to
yeah, but where's the money coming from to pay them to win that recruiting battle is what I'm saying. There's money to be made in the other sports, in football in particular.
I don't know, a salary, you know what I mean? Like you're pulling something from the salary.
You could, yeah.
I'm not trying to throw that over.
Tom's all in on this corrupt women's soccer program we're running around here, apparently.
I'm not in any way. I believe in Chris Thompson. That's who I believe in.
Well, you believe in him, the work ethic, the strength, the fortitude, and all of the things that he overcame from an injury standpoint, and the heart that he showed, and to be undersized and play in the league and to do all those things. But would you be stunned if Chris Thompson had arrived at Florida State University through some NCAA violation at the very least? I'm not saying he did it. See, this is dangerous when we apply certain names. But no, I mean, you love that story. I love that story. Do I think he's on the up and up? Yes. I'm not suggesting otherwise.
Yeah, I buy into the person.
You think he's above? You think he's above cheating?
I'd like to believe so. Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I guess that's more to the core of the question. If he had to take steroids to stay in the league, I mean, you can't know if he would or he wouldn't, you know. And there was a time, I think, with players or people that we believed in or our sports heroes that you'd go, no, Roger Staubach would never, ever do such a thing.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is it the same question as saying that, somebody's perfect or somebody's too good to be true? I mean, because everybody's a human being. So where do you
everybody's
draw
got
the
a
line?
price and everybody's got, sure, yeah, I think for certain things anyhow. And to what degree do we actually think using performance-enhancing drugs, for example, is even cheating anymore? I mean, it's a blurred line sometimes in terms of what is even a performance-enhancing drug.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at is, at what point would you declare somebody is not, what they're cracked up to be? Like how much?
Well, I would say everybody in almost every field that achieves some form of notoriety, significant notoriety to where they're famous, if you will. If sports and entertainment related. I'm not talking about if you win the Fields Medal. I'm saying if you know what I mean. I don't.
Oh, you can have my Fields Medal.
But I'm saying, do you see that? Tragically, the 40-year-old woman was the first woman to win the Fields Medal in math. Just passed away of cancer.
No. Oh,
yeah, it was a sad story. She was at Stanford. She had come over from Iran. Brilliant mind, obviously. And that article that came out on her last week or at the beginning of this week is worth your time. You'd like to read. She came up with some incredible, just amazing things.
Out of thin air, right? Isn't that the crazy part?
Well, it's hard to. It's beyond my capabilities.
Yeah.
I read it thoroughly, and the thing is, I don't feel bad about saying that. She actually, in some cases, lapped people within her own field, and they admitted, brilliant math minds admitted, I don't know what she's talking about, but she's proven these things to be true, and I don't know how she even thought of it.
Do you know how easy this is for me?
Right, that's exactly what it is. She sounds like that. She did actually prove a proof that had been, I guess, unsolved for 48 years.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, yeah, she was able to show.
You talk about,
That's a different level.
This is, the actual literal application of when we talked about Jameis sees the Matrix that Jimbo is laying out
she
there.
She sees the universe's Matrix.
She sees like a higher plane Matrix.
Yeah. Well, and some say Van Gogh did too, and that's why he went crazy. And there's a pattern in his paintings that was unveiled all those years later. It's nuts.
Well, that's the brilliant line from Defending Your Life. If you use more than 3% of your
go
brain,
insane. Yeah.
you wouldn't like Earth very much.
You wouldn't want to be here. Yeah. Sorry, we got sidetracked.
Like what constitutes if somebody's not real?
All those people. What I was going to say, and I screwed it up because I got sidetracked. But all of the people that make it in the way that we're talking about are not necessarily. If you engage in heroification, well, then I can guarantee you they're not what you think they are. The trick is, as you get older and you're no longer a child and you become informed, is to not do that, because even your heroes, even the people that you hold in high esteem and high regard, are flawed because, by definition, they're human beings. They've been molded and shaped in ways through their experiences that you can't know because they're not yours, and they've led to greatness on the one hand, but most assuredly they've done something that you would go, oh, well, I would not have guessed that you would be capable of that, especially if you've placed them in such a high regard. Everybody you love and know, I would think that that's true. It's just that you go around the world knowing that. You go around this life knowing that, hey, I love Tom, and I hope Tom loves me. Tom's not perfect, I'm not perfect. And if we knew each other's secrets, every secret that everybody has, we would all go, oh. But then hopefully it'd come back around and go, well, I got my own, so let's just keep moving forward. You know what I mean? That's the trick.
Yeah, but we don't do that.
No, we don't do that. But
not with people we don't know. And those are the athletes. At the same, we feel like we know them, but then when they betray us, quote unquote, we feel betrayed, and we say, well, I don't really know him anyway, so.
But I think we are beyond acting surprised anymore. I do think we've gone past that, right? I don't know,
I was surprised when D. Gordon was popped for PEDs.
But you didn't hold him in high regard.
No,
you didn't care about D. Gordon, but yes.
There's something new that surprises you, and you go, well, son of a.
But that's because he's $110, and you thought nobody who's on steroids would be that skinny. Turns out that was the preconceived notion that we should have probably wisened up to a long time ago. There have been a lot of lean guys that got popped for performance-enhancing drugs, and they're not all built like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You see Mark McGuire, and you go, well, that makes sense. But then you see some other guys, you go, I would have never guessed that. Bartolo Colon.
Yeah. Certainly puts Griffey back in play, doesn't it? If
It
T.
puts-
Gordon is guilty of it.
It puts everybody in play, and that's
Yeah.
what's sad about it, because then there's the old conversation, which is I go through my whole career. Let's presume that, for example, Chipper Jones was on the up and up, did not use steroids. Never mind the Hooters girls and all the other stuff. Having to tell your pregnant wife that you cheated.
Oh, yeah.
Or tell your wife that your girlfriend's pregnant.
But he was principled about steroids, Jeff.
But let's just say he was.
That's a different ball of wax altogether.
Well, he might have been, though. He might have held that in higher regard. Now, his values are not your values. And, yes, again, we get into an interesting situation. Murky waters, Tom, murky waters. But maybe he viewed the purity and the integrity of competition in hallowed ground as opposed to his vows in a marriage. And he said, no, I'm never going to cheat the game, man. I'm not going to cheat the guys I'm competing with. That happens all the time. I don't know if he did or didn't use steroids, but let's just say he didn't, and nobody's ever accused him of using steroids, and I think it is largely presumed that he didn't use steroids to have the Hall of Fame career that he did. I don't care if he did or didn't. That's not the point. I'm using him as an example. But you're not shocked to find out that he's got some foibles in other areas of his life. And this is, so there is, by using those standards, there is nobody that you believe in, quote unquote, anymore. If what you mean by believe in is they can be looked at beyond reproach. That there's nothing. Like, listen, think of all the people that believed in Lance Armstrong and how long that went on. A lot of that comes from wanting to believe in something bigger, wanting to believe that people can be better than yourself, like across the board.
Well, they can be physically. Yeah.
Right. But you want to believe that the guy that's helping find cure and raise money to save lives through, cancer research and so forth is just that guy. That's who he is, not the guy cheating the game, lying about it, and ruining lives in the process. Not the guy that's willing to lie and ruin a man's potential to earn a living and to bestow upon that person great shame and inability to move forward in their life, and to do so to the level that he did makes him not just a little nefarious, but downright evil. And yet he's the guy that's raised more money for cancer and cures for cancer than any living human being. Go ahead and juxtapose those two things.
You want him on that bike.
You need him on that bike.
How do you feel about Mr. Rogers? Is he above reproach?
I think so, Tom. You ever see his testimony before Congress?
I sure did, neighbor.
Well, then again, anybody that's that soft-spoken and kind of creepy with the sweaters and all that stuff, I don't know. I mean, I guess it wouldn't have been. I mean, that's a bit, right? That's a whole bit that Mr. Rogers is actually an a-hole behind the scenes and molests children and whatever else, where you're like, oh, it was too good to be true.
At a
Mr.
young age, he had a run-in with an older Billie Holiday at a nightclub.
I don't know. I don't know who I would now label as. If, again, the definition is when you say, is there anybody left in sports that you believe in? If what you mean by believe in is that I think that they're incapable and wouldn't use performance-enhancing drugs or cheat the system or lie about, I guess, if they cheated in a game, or if they is there anybody? Yeah, probably lots of people. But I don't know. What I have done is it has changed the way that I've changed the way that I view what's possible, in that I can look at a guy that I think has most assuredly been on the up and up in his career, is likely, by all the outward evidence, a very good person, take him at his word or her at her word, take the accomplishments for what they are, but hold out knowing that it's possible that they didn't achieve those goals and those levels of accomplishment completely innocent. That there could have been a year where they used steroids, or there could have been a season in which they took shortcuts. I don't know.
Okay, the most important part, then how do you define that person? Do you consider them somebody still that is in high regard, that you hold in high regard because your bar is more reasonable?
Well, I think that's what happens as you grow up in sport, especially these days, right, where everybody gets exposed at some point. If you're doing any wrong, that guy gets exposed. Almost nobody makes it through. And if you do, good on you. I mean, I suppose there have been a couple in the last few years that actually made the Hall of Fame in baseball, for example, where we're like, you just got by. But we know better, Jeff Bagwell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that one's right.
That one's a toughie. You know,
Just the bags, huh?
Yeah. Okay. But no, I don't. I know people are flawed. As a terribly flawed person myself, who's made any number of poor decisions in my life, right? I don't sit around thinking, well, that, those people have to be that for me to like them. They just have to be reasonably decent human beings who are trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, I think that's
I
right.
think that's about right, right?
Yeah,
You
just trying.
Just try to do the right thing.
Just because I have a couple million, maybe tens of millions of dollars
Right.
more in my bank account, I'm still just trying to get by, just like you are.
And everybody's got their own baggage, and everybody's got things they've done that they regret, wish they hadn't done, transgressions, whatever they might be. But you hope that they right the ship and by and large are humanists and try to do right by people.
I may be on a net jet and getting in a Lambo going home, but you and me, we're the same. We're just trying to get by.
Oh, man. Nobody gets out unscathed, buddy. Life does the rest to you. There's no way.
What about,
I like to try to get through life with millions of dollars.
What about like college football head coaches?
I want to try to get through the life with the millions of dollars that I'm given.
Holy college football head coaches who quote scripture when times get tough.
Man.
Are they above reproach?
No, they're the first, I suspect. They're the very first in line. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic, backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Servicing Tallahassee for over 30 years. AAA Transmission, 1023 North Monroe Street, or call them at 222-2532.
The City of Tallahassee Utilities, America's #1 public utility, says it's summertime, and summertime is the time to go green and save energy. Here are a few simple things you can do right now that will save energy while you try to keep out of the summer heat. First thing, get your air conditioner checked out and change your air filters. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how much energy and money you can save. Going away from home on vacation? Why not purchase a programmable thermostat to regulate your air conditioner while you're not at home? Talk about an investment that'll pay energy savings dividends. Make an appointment right away for a free energy audit from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. You never know how much energy you can save until you do it. The City of Tallahassee is offering insulation grants. Why not apply for one? Did you know that the City of Tallahassee offers loans to help with the purchase of solar water heaters? Visit talgov.com/YOU for information on loans and rebates. So stay cool, go green, and save energy all summer long. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, America's #1 public utility.
Progressive brings you Flowetry with Flow.
A tool called Name Your Price. Get a grip on your spending like an industrial vice. It's nice. Beats rolling the dice. I prefer brown rice. Don't carry dumbbells when you walk on thin ice. Splash.
Get insurance based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. Visit progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Oh, wow. You're actually wearing your hair down tonight.
Yeah, because I finally decided that I love my hair. I figured out the solution for my morning frizz, midday poof, and even next day bedhead. It's Frizz E Secret Weapon Touch-Up Cream by John Frieda.
Well, you and your hair look flawless.
Flawless and touchable. Feel.
Oh.
See? It's soft. Smooth ends, no flyaways, shiny.
Well, I clearly need to get some because your hair looks amazing.
Frizz E Secret Weapon, only from John Frieda.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Well, always fun to read these stories, and we make them a part of a feature that we do when we get the opportunity. But I've got to forewarn you that when sometimes we read these stories, or if I schedule a link or Tom schedules a link to be on our 97.9 Facebook page, you might choose to click on it and engage in warm-hearted, wonderful regaling of said story when we do Shelter from the Storm. But be by yourself when you watch the video from this next one, gentlemen. You try to take this video in front of people, you're just going to be a weeping mess. Expose those feelings for the office to see. We don't want to do that. Do that at the house.
Once made the mistake when there's
It's a toughie.
old man talking to his wife of who knows how many years.
She was dying. Did he start singing to her? Isn't that the one?
Yeah.
I remember saying that one. That's a
Now, apparently she made it through the surgery and all that, and they had some more time together, but still, you don't know that when you watch the video. And
oh, there's a ton of them. And
I was a wreck for days.
Half the E60 ones, man. There's like that story of the saving of the dog was a tough one.
Well, I saw one this morning where another dog was saved by firemen. I saw this on CBS News. I put it on my Twitter page. You can go there and check at _ Tom.
Nicely done, Tom. Nicely done.
Or you can just check CBS News.
Yeah, you go there.
And yeah, some firemen pulled
Check
this dog
ESPN Greeny.
out of. I'm sure he has it too.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, he's doing his own endorsements now.
I don't.
He's endorsing tailor-made golf balls.
Keep talking.
As though he's an authority on how to play golf balls.
Story.
Anyway, so they pull a dog out of a burning home, and the dog is not moving, not breathing. And
It's in bad shape.
There is a special mask, oxygen mask, and tank for animals.
I did not know that.
I didn't know firemen had
You'll
this
learn
device.
a little something there, huh?
And they brought the dog back to life and put it back in the arms of its owner.
Well, that's not something I'll be watching. I'm just
No,
glad to
yeah.
hear that it happened.
It did happen.
It did happen, and that dog's alive, and that is awesome news, and I won't watch that video.
Not in the company of others.
Not on a Friday when I'm in a good mood, thinking about maybe hanging out afterwards and having a couple cold ones with my buddy. I don't need to be tearing up.
No, there's toasting to the good times, then there's drowning in your sorrows.
Right,
You know?
yeah.
And let's do the former.
All right, so here's the story. Yeah, cue it up if you would, thanks to our friends at Parker Brothers Roofing.
Come in, she said, I'll give ya shelter from the storm.
They do great work. This is a feature we do called Shelter from the Storm. There's enough bad news in the world, man, on a daily basis, right? We all need a little something to make us feel a little better time to time about people and being good to one another. It doesn't happen nearly enough, and it's certainly not written about, talked about enough. This particular feature is sponsored by Parker Brothers Roofing, who did my roof at the Cameron household. And, man, I cannot vouch enough for the professionalism. And I still say this every time I do this segment. I have never seen a roof put on a house as quickly and efficiently and perfectly done as these gentlemen did. And I mean that.
Is this because of compensation, Jeff, or is this actual testimony?
Actual testimony. Actual testimony. This is not a free commercial. But they do. No, seriously, that is, I don't, you know me, I don't endorse a lot.
No.
I use what I endorse.
I hear you.
It's good stuff.
There are times I've worked with people who will endorse anything, and they're not at this station, I can tell you that much.
Now, there may come a time where I will.
Sure. And that's called your 50s.
It's called the end of your career.
Yeah.
Stockpile.
It's the latter 50s.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Let me tell you about my friends at emoji.com.
People are like, Cameron hates that stuff.
He hates emojis.
Yeah. Here we go.
But you did talk about them before this was ever a thing, before Shelter from the Storm was ever a thing.
Oh, Parker Brothers? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so the headline reads, you can find the story, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. You can find it all over the country. You can find it now making the rounds. You'll probably tire of it, but it doesn't make the story any less impactful, and it's really cool to watch. The video itself, there are shortened versions of it when you watch this. I would advise that. The 4.5-minute version you can find on YouTube, which is what I found. It takes a little while to build to the point. You want to skip ahead to about the minute mark. The headline reads, wife creates special baseball card package to tell husband that she is a kidney donor match. The anticipation of opening a pack of baseball cards remains exciting for collectors of all ages. I will attest to that. I still buy a pack of baseball cards occasionally. When
You do?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I like baseball cards. I still do. And my kids, I'll get them. I'm far more excited than they are when I get them.
It's the smell of them too, right?
Oh, it's awesome. Everything about it. I like and I even like the kind of the slippery package that's just it's a weird material.
Some of them are cool. Some of them are wax. And some of them are more metallic.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But a Tennessee man pulled an extraordinary card last week, and it was an emotional, life-changing moment. Steve Winfrey of Knoxville began dialysis for kidney disease in November. He's in dire need of a transplant. On Thursday, Winfrey, an avid collector, opened a pack of Topps baseball cards. A special insert revealed that his wife, Heather, would be donating a kidney to him. As Heather filmed the event, Winfrey, who's 32 years old, pulled cards, Angels outfielder Mike Trout, Mets pitcher Noah Syndergaard, Yankees outfielder Clint Frazier. I would have been like, sorry, bum, Clint Frazier's in here. Then he found a special Topps card with his own picture on the front. And as he read the back of the card, he began to choke up, because it is there that he learned that his wife was a match and would be donating her kidney in order to save his life. Heather will be pitching a new kidney to him, the card read. They are sure to hit it out of the ballpark together in the year to come. Oh, man, yeah.
All right, and that's the music.
She kept saying, you have a special insert in there, Winfrey told MLB.com. I knew something was up because she never really films me. Winfrey's an Atlanta Braves fan who collected cards as a youth. He said he stopped during high school but resumed his hobby once he could afford it. Opening packs of cards has been therapeutic for Winfrey. There were a lot of times when we would be in the hospital and I'd grab a pack and we'd open them together, Heather Winfrey told MLB.com. The low-key fun gets our minds off the everyday stresses. When he saw that card, which resembles the 2016 Topps design, Winfrey noticed that the word recipient in place of where a player's position was on the card. I saw it coming, I think, but I lost it. I began to ask her, you want to save my life? That's a toughie.
And that's the music.
The emotional video of Steve Winfrey reacting to the card has now gone viral. He will receive the transplant at Vanderbilt Transplant Center in Nashville. And he went on to say that the response to the video has been very gratifying. He thanks everybody for their well wishes. So it's a great story, and you can find it on the Facebook page, 97.9, or you can go to Atlanta Journal-Constitution, wherever you find these sorts of uplifting things. And that is Shelter from the Storm, and that is a cool picture and a great video. And watch it alone. Final hour forthcoming. Stay with.
It's back. The 14th annual Kingfish Shootout held in Carabel, Florida. August 5th and 6th is almost here. Entry fees are $300 per boat, and donations of $1,000 or more will receive one free boat entry. Fishing hours are Saturday 7 to 7 and Sunday 7 to 4. All boats must check in at the check-in station by 7 p.m. on Saturday and 4 p.m. on Sunday. Boats can be in the water but can't pass the checkout point until 6 a.m. both days. There will be a captain's meeting at Sea Quarters Marina Friday, August 4th at 6 p.m. Mandatory one person per boat must be present for rules. Sea Quarters Marina, 501 St. James Avenue, Highway 98, Carabel, 850-697-8400.
I have known for some time now that some insurance companies are not exactly being truthful with their customers, stating such things as if you do not use one of their approved body shops, they will not guarantee the repairs, or it may cost you more out of pocket. Here at Lisa's Paint and Body Shop, the work we do is guaranteed for as long as you own your vehicle. Lisa's Paint and Body Shop, 385-2665.
License number MP46050.
Brent, this month's topic is classic song lyrics. You ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Here's a lyric. American history, practical math, you study them hard and hoping to pass.
It's from School Days by the great Chuck Berry. He wrote and recorded so many great hits.
You mean like TNT Supercenter sells and services so many top golf cart brands with an enormous selection all under one roof?
TNT Supercenter customers can compare the top golf cart brands side by side. Club Car, Yamaha, Star EV, and the ultimate hunting vehicle to beat. TNT Supercenter has the largest selection of carts in the area. Pre-owned carts starting at just $19.99. New carts with a 4-year warranty starting at just $49.99. And at TNT, our service center and service technicians are trained, certified, and authorized for every brand we sell.
And there's plenty of parts and accessories too, right?
Our parts inventory is huge, and we'll dress up your existing cart with a full line of Mad Jack's premium accessory products like seat kits, light kits, lift kits, and now for a limited time, save 20% on all of Mad Jack's parts and accessories.
TNT Supercenter, US 19 South, next to Dairy Queen in Thomasville, and online at TNTSupercenter.com.
Broadcasting live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
This is Adrian Lawrence, and jumping to the gridiron, Adam Pac-Man Jones has been suspended for the Bengals season opener against the Ravens. Jones violated the NFL's personal conduct policy in connection with a fight with a hotel employee in Cincinnati earlier this year. He pled guilty to obstruction of business. Cowboys wideout Des Bryant says he isn't worried about Ezekiel Elliott and believes the running back will learn to avoid off-field drama as he matures. On Sunday, Elliott was implicated in a Dallas bar fight that didn't lead to any arrests. On the Diamond Cup third baseman, Chris Bryant is out of the starting lineup after he sprained his left pinky finger. Javier Baez is stepping in at third. And Indians ace Corey Kluber was scratched from today's start due to neck issues, but he hopes to start Sunday in Game 3.
Time to upgrade your wardrobe with CT Shirts, the most exquisitely crafted British-styled crease-free shirts I've ever worn. One CT shirt normally costs $100. I got you 3 shirts for just $99. Go to ctshirts.com/ESPN. ctshirts.com/ESPN.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for this week, and a fine Libations Friday to you and yours. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything, but hey, if you do, we got you. All 3 hours. Posted every day upon the conclusion of the program, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. It's all brought to you with limited commercial interruption, thanks to our great podcast sponsor, the fine folks at SVN Southland Commercial. Carlton Dean, my man, carltondean.com. Find out ways to make money in commercial real estate, including off-market deals, carltondean.com. Email the show if you like. It's jcs at 979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at JCameronShow, WTSM app for your mobile devices. And on YouTube, it's ESPN Tallahassee. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Wow, what a fun day. What a fun day. And what an easy day. Thank you, Hugh Freeze, you dumbass. So we gotta go back over and reassess and discuss some of the things that we've discussed throughout the majority of the afternoon as my thoughts on the pious and embarrassing behavior of one Hugh Freeze, of course. I love the hypocritical displays of virtue. Those are my favorite. Yeah. I wonder what little pithy Bible verse he's going to use for his speech. He's prone to that, has been every step along the way when he's been questioned about the notice of allegations and everything else. It's beautiful. But here's my point. He, I don't think, was actually fired because he called a escort service in Tampa. Although I will say this now, was he in Tampa and he called a different number, a 313 number, and he was at an 813? Is that what I saw?
Well, yeah,
it's kind of.
I guess there might be some transients involved with this Tampa service. There's a Detroit area code, I think. Was that right?
There's a 313. I know.
I think that's Detroit. Yeah.
Here's the craziness. There's so many things to this that I love. Well, first of all, how long have we been talking about Hugh Freeze and the Ole Miss program's rather rapid rise from relative obscurity to a place in prominence in college football, and how dubious that seemed to be, right? The pictures, the money, all the stuff that we talked about had to be going on. The fact that, and I use the analogy all the time, everybody's a little dirty in big-time college athletics. Everybody's done something that maybe even unknowingly is against the NCAA rules. If you've ever seen the NCAA rule book, it's thick, it's sizable. You can make a mistake, and oftentimes universities do, and then they notice it, and they're minor infractions, and they call themselves on it, and nothing really happens. All right, thanks, don't let it happen again. It's the big stuff that you get in trouble for, and largely the NCAA, it seems, to varying degrees, has been neutered by their own mistakes over time, too, and their fears that groups in the Power Five really didn't have to pay attention to them much anymore, and I've been waiting on North Carolina's punishment for some time now, right? But Ole Miss, it was a matter of time, and this was a fairly familiar conversation that you would have amongst your fellow football enthusiasts. How long till Ole Miss bites the bullet, right? But what I thought about when this broke last night wasn't just that, okay, so it's finally happened, they've axed Hugh Freeze. We knew that day was coming. As football fans, we knew that day was coming. It was a matter of when, not if. But when I heard why, I thought, really? Calling escorts. We sure about that? That's why the man's gotten fired? Or is that the thing you needed to execute what it is you wanted to do anyhow?
Well, yeah, that's one of the headlines on, I think it was a Yahoo article overnight, said, his lies finally catch up to him. Well, yeah, in a way.
But not those lies.
Right.
It's not those lies.
Those don't matter.
No. Here's what matters, though. And here's what I'll say, and I've said this about every program that's ever been busted cheating. All right, look, you decide that you want a piece of the pie. You want to eat from the money trough, as I like to call it, right? You're tired of watching the other schools in the Southeastern Conference reap the rewards of being elite in football while you don't. You don't get paid in the same way. And you are a tradition-laden, to some degree, school, and it's been long enough. Let's throw our hat back in the ring. We've got to hire the right guy. Well, we start there. It's always that phrase, right? Got to hire the right guy. That's a loaded term. Yeah, he's got to have an acumen for the game, sure. But what else does he have to do? Well, he's got to take you from a place of obscurity to a place of prominence, and he's got to do that by winning football games, and you win football games by recruiting really good players. And when you have better players than the other guy, you win more football games than you lose. And suddenly it creates an avenue by which you can recruit even better football players the next year and the year after that, and now you got this thing rolling, right? And at some point, you can pull back the reins. You don't have to do some of the overt things that Ole Miss did and other institutions that we've seen caught over the years do to cheat, right? It becomes an autopilot thing. You win enough, you don't have to do it. But in the beginning, boy, you've got to go 120 and a 70. You got to go 150 and a 70 and hope like hell that you're on a stretch of road where there's nobody around. And if you win, Tom, and if you win big, those that would be tasked with the responsibility of institutional control and those that are your bosses, they tend to look the other way. But Hugh didn't. And that's what's being lost here. If you're going to cheat, you got to win. And I mean win big. He went 7-6, 8-5, 9-4, 10-3, 5-7. No. 3-5, 3-5, 5-3, 6-2, 2-6. His SEC West records. A combined 39-25. Hugh. That doesn't give you license to be an ass. That doesn't allow you to roll everybody under the sun. That doesn't allow you to say and do anything you want and get away with it. Those aren't the records of a man who can operate with impunity.
when you have that first signing day that he had where there was an announcement that they had thrown their hat plus a couple of wads of cash into the ring.
Did they ever?
The payoff has to be better.
Much better.
Because remember, we had a couple of recruits. That was us and Ole Miss, and they took Ole Miss.
Yes.
And we
an offensive
really?
line recruit that.
And we weren't the only ones. You know, other teams had the same issue. So he wasn't going to go for the subtle, gradual approach.
I'm all in, bitch.
Right.
Okay, so
and
here's
he
the
could
thing.
have done the other thing and found his way to decent records and slowly building up a program.
Maybe. But the problem is it's a risk-reward thing here. So the people at Ole Miss, in my estimation, were antsy. They were tired of it. Obviously, at the end of Houston Nutt's career there, he had a couple of good years, but then I think it was 2-10 or whatever the hell they were. That was the end of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll get to Houston Nutt in a second.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, because you can't just besmirch a man and expect that there not be reprisal.
What a wonderful chapter that is, too.
It's awesome. Oh, this is so beautiful on so many levels. You have to, if you decide, all right, we're in the game. I'm tired of this. I want to win. We got to do what we got to do. You understand what I'm saying, Hugh? We've got to do what we've got to do. And that involves fundraising for projects that we need in order to win football games. That involves you doing what you have to do with your staff, Hugh, in order to win football games. And we understand that it's not going to be easy. But we're not here for the long haul, Hugh. This isn't a 10-year project. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it's understood, right? Now you've got carte blanche, and we are going to deflect, and we are going to back you, and they've backed him every step of the way until last night. They have backed him, and that's also another troubling aspect that they have now because they're not done. The NCAA is still getting ready to levy punishment, and they have to defend, in the notice of allegations, they have to defend his practices after they just fired him.
No, there's no doubt. And the thing to me is, okay, you hire that guy, and as a fan, let's just say we're a fan of the Rebels. He is immensely useful. And on the way out, pending the NCAA, I go, all right, well, he kind of did serve the purpose. I wish we had cashed in on the opportunity, but he put us back in the conversation. And if we don't see if we don't see crippling scholarship reductions, then he's put us in a place where we wouldn't have been otherwise.
Right.
So
I get it.
He's served his purpose.
We thought Baylor had done something similar, and I know Baylor is an even greater reach given their lack of history and cachet of, no success compared to Ole Miss's. We thought, and then all hell broke loose, and you realized it was the Wild Wild West, and abhorrent things were going on, not just cash payments to recruits.
Worse than what we know about Ole Miss by a long shot.
Right,
yeah.
right. Like abhorrent, institutional. I don't even want to get into that stuff. That stuff we've talked about, documented, read, and it's hard to fathom that could go on when adults are around. Right? This happened. But had it just been that he pushed the line, took some questionable kids with character issues, and won a bunch of football games, and eventually we had to run him out of here because he ignored, institutional standards in terms of the academics or whatever it might be, that would have been a pat on the back, sorry, got to let you go. You did what you needed to do. You're set for life. We'll take care of you. And, oh, by the way, now we're a player in major college football. We'll never forget you. That's what that would have been, except for it wasn't that. It was much, much worse. I don't think they are in a place. This can't be one of those arm around the shoulder, all right, this day was going to come. We knew it. You knew it. Time's up. We got to wash our hands of you here. It's getting a little too hot in the kitchen. This isn't that. This speaks to something uglier. This means that some of the people that invested in this turnaround, the people who really care, don't think that 7-6, 8-5, 9-4, 10-3, 5-7 was what they bargained for. That the program had ceased to be moving upward, that this thing had gotten stagnant, that they had reached the end of the road. They're saying, "Oh, that's what my money got me?" Yeah, we're going to go ahead and have to tell this guy goodbye. It's not hookers, it's not escort service stuff. It's stupidity, it's arrogance, it's anger from the people behind the scenes too. Here's how you know that. They were waiting, they were looking, desperately looking for anything that they could find that would allow them to look decent when the lights came on, right? And so they're going to use this, right? They're going to use a moral situation where they're going to say this is not the standard by which we hold our employees and operate here at Ole Miss University. Even though we knew Hugh Freeze was cheating his ass off in football, so your standards be damned. He had an opportunity. Well, let me get back to this because this is another part of it that I find absolutely mesmerizing. I can't fathom how this happens. So, Tom, if you get in trouble, if ESPN Radio gets in trouble, if anybody gets in trouble and it's serious, it's like you could lose your license where the FCC's coming in or we're no longer going to be employed. And you have an opportunity to review evidence that the FCC or other people are going to be looking at, scrutinizing, that other people who have your future in their hands and they're looking for things specific, anything, and you know they have it out for you. And we sit down with lawyers, and you and I sit down across from each other, dead of night, perusing all of the material. All right, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do there? This is with anybody, right? And you have the right in that situation to redact anything personal in the documents, and then you don't? This dumbass, he had the chance to redact any personal calls from the phone records that they were looking at. They said, take a look at this. We're not after your personal life, Hugh. Everybody's got a right to privacy, but we need to take a look at these phone records because we're being sued. Houston Nutt's pretty pissed off. His lawyers are taking a look at this since you blamed everything on him. And, why don't you take a look at the phone records? Is there anything there that we need to know about? How do you not redact the calls to the hookers?
Yeah.
My man.
What's more personal than that?
Indeed. Not just screwing, Mitch. What are we doing here? How does that happen? He did not redact a 1-minute phone call to a number in the 313 area code that, according to numerous reports, including Yahoo's, which was connected to an escort service in Tampa, Florida. When asked about the call, Freeze dismissed it. He said, well, I've got no idea. To be honest with you. I was in an 813 area code, and that number was a 313 area code.
Not just screwing, Mitch.
I think that must have been a misdial.
Not just screwing, Mitch.
Could have been a butt dial, for all I know.
Poor choice of words, Hugh.
I don't even believe there was a conversation, is what Hugh said.
Not just screwing, Mitch.
Indeed, Hugh. None was necessary. He went on to say, there's just nothing to it. There's arrogance involved in that, too, so much so that he didn't bother to double-check the number redacted, thinking that they'll never come after that. There's nothing to it. It's what they needed. It's the smoking gun, but they wanted you gone, I think, in addition to being a hypocrite, hiding behind religion, sanctimonious deflections constantly when you're being held accountable for the things that you know that you did, and then you put it up the lap of Houston Nutt, because screw that old crazy man, right? Nobody likes him around here anyhow. We lost a bunch of games. It's all Houston Nutt's problem. You think he was going to sit back? You don't think he was going to retort as his name is sullied year in and year out as the guy that ruined the program and wrought the NCAA upon us?
I like to believe that Hugh did redact that phone call, but there was an assistant along the way who had been wronged and said, no, not that one. Put a cross off the X there and put a check mark as an okay. Let's let this one pass through and see what happens.
So the NCAA notice of allegations in 2015, stemming there, did he think that, again, Houston Nutt was just going to sit back and let it go? The fact that Houston Nutt, by the way, this is the other part of it, too, that's great, merely asked after being slandered, while he's in the broadcast booth having to show his face to any number of entities each week, feeling the shame cast upon him as he's going, I didn't do anything. Sure, Houston, you didn't do anything. Yeah, gotcha. Anyhow, have a good game, buddy. That wasn't going to catch up with him, right? So he does that, and all Houston Nutt asks for after his lawyer uncovers the fact that it's not on Houston Nutt, that almost all of what the NCAA is looking at, almost everything in the notice of allegations is directly related to Hugh Freeze. After all of that, Houston Nutt says, just apologize. I just want an apology. And you're calling hookers, and it's not redacted, and you can't just say, look, I'm sorry, and move on? Holy The kind of hubris and air. Oh, my Lord.
You've seen the recent movie, I believe it's War Dogs, is that right?
Yeah.
All you got to do is pay, the workers at that munitions
That's right.
factory.
Just
That's all
pay
you
them.
got to do.
Just pay them.
They're asking for cents on the dollar. You pay them, that phone call to the State Department never
happens.
There it is.
Greed, man. It's amazing. It's fun to watch play out to that extent, though. If you're dirty, and you know you're dirty, and on multiple levels, apparently, with you, this guy, my family, good Christian man, oh, my values. If you're that guy and you're living the lie, that's what you do. And you know who you are. When you're alone in that car on your way to a hooker's house while your wife and kids are back home, you have that moment where you have to say to yourself, well,
I probably should call Houston Nutt and apologize.
Right. Because God forbid they start digging more and find out about these hookers and God knows what else I'm doing when all the man wants is a simple I'm sorry. But there are some in the coaching community that have had Houston Nutt's back. We were able, or not Houston Nutt's back, but rather Hugh Freeze's back. We were able to obtain, luckily, a few of those phone calls, some prominent members in the Shame Hall of Fame, if you will. We'll start. I think this is amazing. I was not surprised. I love the time of this phone call. This is Rick Pitino reaching out to Hugh Freeze.
New message. 3:52 a.m.
Hugh, it's your friend. I just heard the news. I am so sorry. I didn't know you were one of us. I didn't know, Hugh. Everybody knows you call me. You certainly don't call Tampa. That's not for people like us, Hugh. You know who this is, by the way. Let's just say I can't divulge my name, but my favorite automobile is a Porsche 911. Okay? Hang on one second. No. That's Billy Minotti. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Obviously, I can't give you my listed number. So please, give me a call, 502-555-6969. We'll go out. I know a nice Italian place. We'll talk about this. This is not the end. Trust me. This is not the end. I await your call.
End of message.
Dave Bliss, famed and embarrassed, humiliated, and rightfully ridiculed Baylor coach, weighed in as well.
New message. 11:17 p.m.
You, Dave Bliss. I don't have much time here, but you know I've been married 38 years. You think you get married for 38 years if you can't cover? It's always the drugs. Call me back. Claudia, why can't I turn this damn thing?
End of message.
Sorry. And we close out with...
He just never knows how to use technology.
We close out with Bobby Petrino.
New message. 12:25 p.m.
Hey, buddy. It's Bobby P. You know, I was joking with my lady, my wife. You know, I take on runoff projects from the SEC all the time, so I thought, why not call you? Well, anyway, if you want to come see the sights in my town, you can hop on the back of my motorcycle. Probably be a good time. Stay strong, and may God bless you and your family.
End of message.
So he has some support. If you're worried about him in this time of need for Hugh Freeze, there are so many in the coaching community who can relate, who can reach out and aid him in his efforts to, I guess, return to form at some point in the college ranks.
It sounds like it. I mean, you know, it's always been said that it's a fraternity, right?
The beauty of ESPN and working for a giant like this is you get those phone calls, you can get things you ask for, and corporate doesn't want to run those. But, you know, we're a little bit of a renegade operation down here in Tally, and as long as the numbers are good, they leave us alone. So we're all right. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Company and affiliates, price and coverage match limited by state law.
Oh, wow. You're actually wearing your hair down tonight.
Yeah, because I finally decided that I love my hair. I figured out the solution for my morning frizz, midday poof, and even next day bedhead. It's Frizz E Secret Weapon Touch-Up Cream by John Frieda.
Well, you and your hair look flawless.
Flawless and touchable. Feel.
Oh.
See? It's soft, smooth ends, no flyaways, shiny.
Well, I clearly need to get some because your hair looks amazing.
Frizz E Secret Weapon, only from John Frieda.
When you need spends a little too much time in the sun relief.
Yikes.
Oh, what the? Attack of the angry mosquito relief.
Hey, watch this.
Scraped knees.
And an elbow.
Relief. You need Gold Bond Pain and Itch Relief Cream with lidocaine. Gold Bond has the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription and starts working on contact to numb away pain and itch. Gold Bond with lidocaine. Relief starts now. Use as directed.
When you don't have a big marketing budget, you have to wait until the opportunity is just right. Well, consider this your opportunity alarm going off. Vistaprint's semi-annual sale has arrived with up to 50% off site-wide, including custom t-shirts, postcards, and even our new A-frame signs. And if you've been waiting for our newest business card options like Square Cards, now's the time to get huge savings on them too. Make the most of this opportunity. Go to Vistaprint.com by July 25th and enter the promo code SAVEBIG.
For better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine, change your vehicle's oil at Superlube every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. For good times and family fun, Tallahassee heads to the Fun Station. And right now, when you change your oil at Superlube, you'll get a $15 Fun Station gift card. You don't need an appointment. You'll be in and out in no time. And with 19 Tallahassee area Superlubes, there's probably one right around the corner right now.
How I love to Superlube my car. Yes, sir.
Wonder what the outrageously energizing experience of Mountain Dew Kickstart is like? Well, it's like a combo of 3 awesome things. Dew, juice, and caffeine, rebooting your entire personal operating system.
Mountain Dew Kickstart is in position for consumption.
All systems cleared for launch.
Initiate launch sequence. T-minus 3, 2, 1, mark.
Release the Mountain Dew Kickstart.
Mountain Dew Kickstart released. Experiencing a charge of Mountain Dew Kickstart now.
Mountain Dew Kickstart operation successful.
You are now off the couch and out exploring the world.
Roger that.
Get charged up for what's coming next anytime, anywhere with Mountain Dew Kickstart. Available in 10 energizing flavors like mango lime, raspberry citrus, midnight grape, and orange citrus. Mountain Dew Kickstart. Fuel with flavor.
RCD Shell knows how to keep you cool and refreshed. All 20-ounce Pepsi and Mountain Dew products are 2 for $2.22. That's right, 2 for $2.22. And 28-ounce Gatorade is buy one, get one free. It's more fun with Pepsi and Dew, so bring on the bubbles with these cool prices at RCD Shell.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show. On 97.9 ESPN Radio.
when the cameras caught you stealing from the register, we're going to let you take the tape, and you can edit out anything you want on that tape before you hand it back. No, I'm going to leave that in there. I'm going to leave the time that you got me reaching my hand in the drawer. That is, I'm still sitting here stunned. Hugh, these are the phone records the lawyers have uncovered that they're going to look over with a fine-tooth comb. You know, your private life is your private life, and we all have them. We're not interested in that. We're interested in what you do as an employee here and the kinds of things that affect the university.
Yeah, I think there's a back and forth that's really simple in this situation. The lawyer approaches Hugh, and they say, you can redact any personal calls. And he goes, well, define personal. And the lawyer says, exactly. Here's the list.
Here's the list.
Yeah.
Okay, the Jeff Cameron Show PR firm gets called in because a notice of allegations have been sent. Well, first thing, Hugh, you should know that the way we operate at this firm, myself, Tom Lang, and all of our subordinates, we aren't really all that interested in, the truth. But as it pertains to your job, as it pertains to the kinds of things that might be discussed openly in court or, God forbid, on a newsreel, which is where we come in, we're going to need to know what it is. Again, I'm not here to judge you, Hugh. Either is Tom, my associate. We've taken on far worse cases here.
No judgment.
None. So when we're looking at the phone records, as we'll want to do, feel free to point out anything that could affect you and your family in a negative light, and certainly would prohibit us from properly sustaining a campaign that finds you in the best light. So, again, why don't you take some time there, Hugh? Here's you. Here's for you and your attorney. You go ahead and take a good long look at that, and then we'll go from there.
Again, Hugh, listen, we're focusing on the realities here. Yeah. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes.
People do. They make mistakes.
The worst of us, nobody wants to see the worst of us out in the world because they know everybody's flawed. And the
things
thing
can
is,
happen when you're a powerful figure in sports, Hugh. People throw themselves at you, and if they don't throw themselves at you, perhaps you're on the road incessantly and a little lonely. We get it, Hugh.
People think they're interested in that. They're really not.
No, but people
really
do
not.
have cameras, and these are the phone records. So let's do with this as we should and move forward with what we'll provide for you from a public relations standpoint, and certainly what your attorneys can do. But the truth has to come out, at least within the confines of these walls, sir.
We're just highlighting what you are by and large. Okay?
It's bizarre. How do you not I'm still stunned. How do you not redact this is where we're at. This is how jaded one would be as a fan of college football. You get that bad stuff happens and that the big-time programs do things that are, well, most unfortunate. And you even allow a little leeway there, right, around the edges. You kind of, okay, well, they're doing that. We might have done that. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe we all do. It's, the 75, 80, 85, 90. Okay, hey, man, we're up over 100 here. Let's slow our roll. 155, sir. You are putting others in peril. That analogy, we're always talking about this. We get it's a dirty, ugly game. But again, the levels of stupidity involved with the easy answers here. This is so simple.
Maybe you buy Aunt May a flat. I don't know about a 3-bedroom home. That might be a little much, but, a flat downtown? Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
My favorite my favorite question now is, what does Ole Miss do? Look, they're out, man. They're out. We're getting who would replace Hugh Freeze? All right, here you go. If you want to keep on down that road and persist, if you will, Lane Kiffin. Well, I'm serious. That's the hire, right? If you want to win and you're not worried about your reputation, which clearly you weren't, and those guys are still invested, I guess, Lane Kiffin.
Jim Tressel.
Here's what I'm kidding about Lane Kiffin. You can't hire Lane Kiffin. He hadn't even coached a year yet at his new school, and he will, and then he'll be available, and this interim head coach may not be the guy they're looking to have, and so therefore you got to go out and get a new guy. And usually this is a little bit like what you do when you had a player's coach. You go get a disciplinarian. Or if you've had a disciplinarian, you go get a player's coach. If you got a guy that's run amok, run afoul of the law, has brought the NCAA upon your neck, and has embarrassed you publicly and behind closed doors and operated as an a-hole, as apparently he did to a lot of people in and around the program because he thought he had impunity. So now you got to go the other way. But where are you going? I mean, Troy Calhoun has been mentioned. He's a coach at Air Force. You look at you see where they're going there when you start hearing these names? Military guy, Tom, somebody who buttoned up.
See, I go after Tressel, and in that opening press conference, I'd have him say, well, we're trying to repair our wrongs together, and let's do so arm in arm here in Oxford. Stare into my sweater vest. Stare into my sweater vest as I'm talking to you, and know everything is okay.
How about Appalachian State's Scott Satterfield? He's 21-5. He's 44 years old. 21-5 the last 2 years. 44 years old, young. He would capture the hearts and minds of the fine folks.
I hear you, but every one of these coaching candidates has to do the old, hey, I know what happened to Al Golden. So when I get here, what exactly is our situation with the NCAA? Oh, you don't know yet. Oh, see, I'm going to have to decline until you know exactly what the penalties are going to be, because I'm not going to come here for a black cloud.
You know who I'd hire? I guess, because it'd be fun. And he might be able to recruit because of reputation in terms of fun. I mean, you could go get Chad Morris. He's at SMU. He's done all right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go get Chad Morris, right? He'd take that job. Because SMU, you can't. What the hell are you going to do at SMU? Like, he would take a job, even, with the pitfalls that are forthcoming, the NCAA probation and all the things that are probably going to happen. Maybe you lose some scholarships in a bowl game. I don't know. But the point is, you got to go get a guy whose situation is such that at the pinnacle, at the apex, the best he's going to do is what? He's at SMU. What are you going to do at SMU? Who's willing to wear that and then say, okay, yeah, this may not be a perfect situation, but I'll go. I'll take that job at Ole Miss. More money. They give me more years to work it out.
How about the grass eater?
Oh, he's old, man, and he doesn't.
He knows those recruiting grounds, but he can coach you while the NCAA things are all the way done.
I don't like it.
Okay.
I'm not getting. I mean, all of these guys to some degree are retreads. I need a guy that's young who's going to be able to overcome some of the things that are going to handcuff them now in the recruiting.
See, that's
arena.
where I would say, are you sure you want the guy, the guy to be now, or do you want to have somebody hold the fort for 3 or 4 years and then go get the guy?
Well, this is where it would be helpful to be on the inside, to internally know what are the realistic expectations, what's possible, and what are the money men saying they want. What the money man just said was, hey, look, man, I paid to win some championships. We gave a lot of money. We cheated our ass off. We got caught. And this slapdick is over here going, 8-5, losing peach bowls. No. Find something on him and get him the hell out of here.
Yeah, the best you can do is a win over Oklahoma State or some such school in the Sugar Bowl. I'm sorry, sir. If you beat Alabama back-to-back years, that's supposed to be a springboard into the freaking playoff.
Okay, so they won the Compass Bowl. They won the Music City Bowl. They did win a Sugar Bowl, but they lost the Peach Bowl. And look, man, they were 5-7 a year ago, 2-6 in the conference. Prior to that, again, there was a whole lot of 3-5, 3-5, 5-3 in that West. I mean, what are we paying for here?
And that is, again, with back-to-back seasons where you beat Alabama.
Yeah.
So you should be going 6-2, 7-1 in those circumstances.
There's one 6-2 record there. Again, you can't turn it around overnight, but he was somewhat tasked with and given carte blanche. Obviously, the people at Ole Miss who now flaunt their ethics and that they can't, given the pattern of behavior, stand by their man. Okay.
We have long
like
been
you didn't know what he was doing.
A university prided on progressive ethics.
Forward thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Always looking ahead.
Yeah.
Never to the past.
At Ole Miss, we are accepting different people, lifestyles, you name it. Sure.
while we all sing Dixie together.
That was the self-righteous part of all of this. I love it. I mean, go back on. There have been plenty of people who've done this since last night. Go back on his Twitter feed when he was under the microscope and the lights were brightest. Every day a Bible verse. This freaking guy. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Hyundai. $5,800 in savings on Altima SR. Brand new automatic Frontier pickup starting at just $21,800. 0% interest for 72 months on our most popular models. Rebates up to $10,000 and no payments until football season. I'm telling you, in the over 30 years I've been in the car business, I've never seen such incentives and low prices. I've got pages and pages of special interest rates, rebates, and bonus cash. Kraft Nissan even has a factory rebate for any credit score under 625 to help you with your down payment. Here's the deal. Nissan is America's fastest growing car company, and they want to be number one, and they're buying market share. So please, before you buy, check out Kraft Nissan's exciting lineup of new vehicles. That's all I ask. Stop by Kraft Nissan and look. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Price includes dealer preparation charge.
Cornerstone and DeWalt FlexVolt. Power of corded, freedom of cordless. Buy any of the following DeWalt T1 FlexVolt kits for only $2.99. 60-volt max grinder kit with battery pack, 60-volt brushless recip saw kit, or 60-volt circular saw with brake kit. And add one FlexVolt 60-volt battery pack for free. A $149 value and a Cornerstone-only exclusive. Check out the sound of silence. Almost. Power of gas without noise and fumes. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Your DeWalt FlexVolt Center. 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon.
The City of Tallahassee Utilities, America's #1 public utility, says it's summertime, and summertime is the time to go green and save energy. Here are a few simple things you can do right now that will save energy while you try to keep out of the summer heat. First thing, get your air conditioner checked out and change your air filters. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how much energy and money you can save. Going away from home on vacation? Why not purchase a programmable thermostat to regulate your air conditioner while you're not at home? Talk about an investment that'll pay energy savings dividends. Make an appointment right away for a free energy audit from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. You never know how much energy you can save until you do it. The City of Tallahassee is offering insulation grants. Why not apply for one? Did you know that the City of Tallahassee offers loans to help with the purchase of solar water heaters? Visit talgov.com/YOU for information on loans and rebates. So stay cool, go green, and save energy all summer long. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, America's #1 public utility.
How's your car's air conditioner working? Could be better? Take it to Auto Super Service Center today for a comprehensive air conditioner service. It's just $49.99. Yep, just $49.99. Since 1980, Tallahassee's trusted name for auto repairs, service, and low prices has been Auto Super Service Center. There are 5 Tallahassee area Auto Super Service Center locations. Find the one nearest you at autosuperservicecenter.com and call for an appointment. $49.99 air conditioner service special is a limited time offer, so call today.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
This is Adrian Lawrence, and jumping to the gridiron, Adam Pac-Man Jones has been suspended for the Bengals season opener against the Ravens. Jones violated the NFL's personal conduct policy in connection with the fight with a hotel employee in Cincinnati earlier this year. He pled guilty to obstruction of business. Cowboys wideout Des Bryant says he isn't worried about Ezekiel Elliott and believes the running back will learn to avoid off-field drama as he matures. On Sunday, Elliott was implicated in a Dallas bar fight that didn't lead to any arrests. On the Diamond Cup third baseman, Chris Bryant is out of the starting lineup after he sprained his left pinky finger. Javier Baez is stepping in at third. And Indians ace Corey Kluber was scratched from today's start due to neck issues, but he hopes to start Sunday in Game 3.
Time to upgrade your wardrobe with CT Shirts, the most exquisitely crafted British-styled crease-free shirts I've ever worn. One CT shirt normally costs $100. I got you 3 shirts for just $99. Go to ctshirts.com/ESPN. ctshirts.com/ESPN.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Beep, bobbity, beep, beep, ba-ba-ba-da. Wrapping it up on this glorious Libations Friday. By glorious, I mean hotter than Hades. Hey now. I have been thinking too much lately about cool weather. I think it was you regaling me and others of your time in Canada. 50-something degrees outside and how I long to feel the cool air.
Went to Peggy's Cove, which is on the shores, and it was foggy, 65.
A little chilly.
With a nice little 10 to 15 mile an hour breeze, sir. I know. I was lucky, and I realized it for every millisecond that I was out there.
Got to. When I was atop Federal Hill in Baltimore, it was a night of 70, daytime of 70, a night of 50-something. We had absolutely exquisite weather for about 4 of the 8 days that I was out of town. The other 4, hot as hell. But those 4.
I tracked the old, meter, and I know that TPE will laugh at this. He'll scoff at this.
Okay.
But
scoff away.
Amongst the hills of Halifax, and that downtown area is pretty steep if you're going up. Walked over 40 miles during the week, and nary a sweat. I mean, really, only maybe once or twice.
Not a droplet.
Oh, buddy. It was outstanding. You know, they even have a free roller inline rink for everybody to go skating. Like, kids can go, and they can ride their scooters or do whatever. But they hosted the 1990 or 92 Canada Games. And so they said, here you go. People don't have to pay a dime to exercise out in this beautiful summer weather.
Nicely done.
Yeah, they do it right.
I like that the Ole Miss Ladies Forum has been scrapped at Ole Miss after the Hugh Freeze scandal. You know how we used to do those things here with the ladies coaching stuff? We still do that around here?
I don't know that we do. I just remember that the Bucks had a particularly bad gaffe in the way they,
The Bucks did?
Yeah, there was something about the way they phrased some of the workouts or something, or, some of the... Yeah.
These are called bitch pulls. I don't think we should do... Guys, should we rename the pulls something else?
Whatever.
I don't like...
There was something on either the invitation or the flyer or something where people said, you may want to check your phrasing there.
All right, so, fellas, let's show the ladies. These are the doggy styles. Let's make sure we got... Oh, Frank!
Holy Jesus.
The phrasing of workouts. It's an Adam Sandler skit. Are they
yeah.
working out?
No, I mistakenly said workouts. It was probably the film talk or the chalk talk or something like that. Yeah. But I'm glad you ran with it.
I just think it's hilarious.
That's how you end a Friday broadcast right
hilarious. There. All right, I can keep going forevermore.
Yeah,
we'll get in trouble here.
No.
I can see the growing concern on your face as I'm getting creative.
Well,
more and more creative.
The interest in doing the show wanes.
Probables, let's fire it up. I can't screw it up if we're doing baseball.
How you say, with the pitching, probables?
Why don't we illustrate? Houston and Baltimore are going to play each other in baseball. They'll do so at beautiful Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. Mike Fiers gets to pitch for Houston, and Ubaldo Jimenez will throw for the Orioles. Brewers, Phillies. Let's keep that losing train going for the Brewers. Come on, Phils. Let's go, Phils. Aaron Nola charged with the task of beating the reeling Milwaukee Brewers. Do you think he can get it done, Matthew? Yeah, that's a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Nola is establishing himself as the Phillies' top starter, 3-1 with a 1.78 and a 0.99 whip over his last 5 starts. A dominant figure in the game today on the bump tonight for the Phillies. How about that? Matt Garza, still in the league, folks.
He's no Tanner Roark.
No. Marlins, Reds, Jose Urena, and Homer Bailey. On MLB The Show, they've got Homer Bailey like he's freaking Cy Young. I can't hit him. Every time the Pirates play the Reds in MLB The Show, Homer Bailey shoves.
That was like Ozuna for the Marlins a year ago.
Yeah.
If he threw any strike at all.
Bam!
They cut to the home run video.
Son of a
475.
Oakland and the Mets, red hot Mets. Jose Reyes, good guy, a good all-around guy, leading the way for the Mets. Paul Blackburn is going to go for the A's. Steven Matz, baby-faced. Steven Matz will go for the Mets. That's at Citi Field tonight at 7:10 if you're interested. Rangers, Rays, Yu Darvish, big dude. Alex Cobb, also big dude. Good matchup. Although I will say this, Darvish is winless in his last 6 starts. The hell we doing over here, you? Not winning. Blue Jays, Indians, Marco Estrada, Trevor Bauer goes for the Indians. Tigers, Twins, we've got Anibal Sanchez and Irvin Santana. Sanchez, the one that Tom's still mesmerized by being in the league.
Well, yeah.
Him or Ricky Nolasco, right?
And Mike Pelfrey.
That's true.
Yeah.
White Sox, Royals, James Shields, Ian Kennedy. Shields has yet to find his pre-injury form, which saw him allow just 1 run and pitch into the 6th inning in 3 consecutive starts. Since he's come off the DL, he sucks. Pirates, Rockies. Could be the story of the year. The Pittsburgh Pirates, Trevor Williams just keeps dealing, finding ways to win baseball games, and he was a long reliever that we had to thrust into the rotation. Good on you, Trevor. Woo. Not going to be good tonight, though. He's pitching in Colorado, and he doesn't have I'll miss your bat stuff. They put it in play against Trevor.
Bet the over?
I think so. Jeff Hoffman going for the Rockies tonight. He'll slide into the injured Tyler Chatwood's spot. Nats, D-backs. D-backs refuse to announce their starter. The Nats say, that's fine. We're going back Scherzer. He's pretty good.
I like our chances.
Red Sox, Angels, Chris Sale going for the Red Sox. By the way, his last appearance struck out 13 and 7 2/3 scoreless innings against the Yankees. I had it wrong. I got to confess. I thought the Sale pickup was an unwise move by Boston, given the way he was pitching towards the end of last year, but he has been a dominant figure. He has 13 double-digit strikeout games this year, 6 away from tying the franchise single-season record. I bet you know who holds the franchise single-season record in Boston for most double-digit strikeout performances in a season.
Who could it be? Could it
Who
be
are you, Kareem Garcia?
Pedro Martinez.
That's him.
10 times All-Star at Boston.
Badass. Who are you, Kareem Garcia? I love that. To question me, Pedro Martinez. He says his whole name. Ricky Nolasco will throw for the Angels.
It's like he's Ric Flair, you know?
Yeah.
18-time world champion. Who are you to question me?
Braves, Dodgers. If Garcia's still with the Braves and not the Twins, who are interested in picking him up, he'll start. If not, somebody else will. Alex Wood goes for the Dodgers. Yankees, Mariners. We got CC Sabathia and his goofy ass. Andrew Moore goes for the Mariners. And finally, the Padres and Giants close out the night. Trevor Cahill and Jeff Smarja. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump. I was waiting for him to yell before I sign off.
Felt like there were 46 teams in the bigs tonight.
Everybody plays on Friday, buddy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. It did feel like it was going on for days. That's okay. Good work out of you. Great week, everybody. Been fun to be back. Great job, Matthew. You all have a wonderful weekend. Treat each other well. And if you call escorts and have the opportunity to redact your phone records, always do so.
What up, 313?
Good old Tampa. Well, it's got tentacles. It'll reach out and get a man. Especially if he's even remotely inclined.
The 813 to the 313.
To want to be got.
To room 513.
Nicely done. Have fun, everybody.